Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of True Offseason, where we talk about everything that's going on in the NFL. This has been a wild offseason for different drafts during the draft, seeing who went where, finding Jadarian Price going to the Seattle Seahawks. People felt that they reached in the first round for a running back, figuring out where Carnell Tate, Jordan Tyson, Mekhi Lemon were going to go, seeing how Jeremiah Love's contract being such a highly guaranteed contract affected the running back market. It's been a crazy offseason. But as we get closer and closer to the start of the NFL season, we wanted to do a breakdown, as we do each year, of all of the divisions. And just like last year, we're going region by region. So today we are doing the AFC and NFC South. And of course, when I say we, I mean myself. I mean Chase Oliver. Chase, how are you doing this fine Thursday evening as we get closer and closer to where there's preseason games happening right now? How are you doing today?
To quote the kids, we are so back, John. The NFL's back. You know how much people miss football? 7 million people tuned in to the Hall of Fame game with the Panthers and the Cardinals. One of the best games ever. This shows how much football dominates America. And especially like how the last few seasons of the NFL have been so good that it has made people miss the NFL much more. And I've missed it much more. Like there's been years where I've been down on the NFL, but I think this is one of the best stretches of the NFL in recent memory. We have so many good superstars, so many good quarterbacks. I feel like teams are finally taking care of their players more. We are so back. I'm so excited to talk about football. It's the one thing that I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah, I had NFL Network on today before the game that I get on there, which was, I think, Steelers and Packers, and it was just like hearing that, the talk about football. I was like, we are. And granted, I listen to various different podcasts and shows during the off season, but the air's starting to get a little bit cooler. Maybe, like the dog days of summer are still here, but we're getting closer and closer to fall, and we know what that means. So we want to thank you guys for tuning in. As always, we're going to talk about a whole bunch of different things on this episode of True Offseason. But the first thing we want to talk about is the running back contracts. So let's start with none other than Bijan. Where is this? Where did I? Good old Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson signs a brand new extension with the Atlanta Falcons. This kind of was we knew this was coming. We knew that there had been conversations back and forth between his camp and the Falcons trying to get this done before his rookie deal really was up. And he has signed a 3-year, $66.75 million contract extension worth up to 75 that will keep him tied to the Atlanta Falcons through the 2030 season. It makes him the highest paid running back in NFL history. It's often a common refrain, right? Featuring over $51 million in total guarantees and an average annual salary of $22.25 million. This is a huge contract for a running back, considering it was not that long ago that the New York Giants felt comfortable letting Saquon Barkley go because they did not want to meet his price. So to see a running back like Bijan Robinson get paid the way that he is, it really does put into perspective what the Giants did and the mistake that they made a couple years ago. So what do you think about this Bijan contract before we get into some of the other ones?
Yeah, no, this was a very good signing for the Falcons. I mean, I know a lot of people are going to say it's a huge overpay, but you got to overpay sometimes the best players. Bijan Robinson is one of the best athletes in the NFL, and he's one of the best running backs in the NFL. I think a lot of people are shocked by how much the contract was worth. I feel like we've seen worse contracts this offseason and stuff, but I feel Bijan Robinson is worth the 75 million that the Falcons are going to be giving him in these next 3 years. And he's obviously a huge building block and a huge turning point. Because the one thing with the Falcons is they've set themselves up well. I mean, we're going to talk more about them in this preview and stuff, but I think they've set themselves up well to be able to pay Bijan this money.
Yeah.
I feel like if it's not this year, it's next year or the year after that. You'll get your money's worth with Bijan Robinson, and you'll have Bijan at his peak and not him falling off or anything. So I like it.
Like if we think about it, also, the Falcons keep Bijan through the 2030 season with the contract extension that they did earlier this year with Drake London. They have Drake London through the 2030 season, and that's your core, right? Like whatever happens with Pitts may happen with Pitts. Like you can find a tight end, and for what Pitts has given you all these years, he's only now kind of playing up to the potential of how highly he was drafted. So you could argue that there's replacement value there. Like there's arbitrage to be made. But when it comes to Drake London and Bijan Robinson, knowing that you have them under contract through 2030, which is 4 years from now, that's incredible. And so whoever, like, I mean, if Michael Penix Jr. is able to get things going, and we're going to talk about that, as we get into the Falcons conversation, or whether Tua has found a more permanent home in Atlanta, either way, or even if it's they decide to just re-roll the dice and go, well, let's try to get one of these quarterbacks in the 27 draft or maybe the 28 draft.
Get one of these free agent quarterbacks.
Or one of the free agents. Yeah, I mean, like there's that would be really interesting if Baker goes over to Atlanta, but also if Kyler, for example, let's say Kyler does well in Minnesota, and Minnesota is trying to get a long-term contract done. Unless Minnesota is going to put the franchise tag on Kyler, then Kyler is going to be able to potentially negotiate with whoever he wants to. And we could easily see Kyler be on a different team after Minnesota this year if he does well. But there's another team that another team we're going to be talking about today that extended their running back, and that is Jonathan Taylor of the Colts. And Jonathan Taylor got a 2-year contract extension worth $44 million, 47 maximum value with $39 million guaranteed. That keeps him under contract through the 2028 season. His $22 million average annual salary is one of the highest at his position. This is a running back that really has gone under the radar for a lot of times, and part of that is because of his own injuries, but part of that is also because the Colts have not really had good quarterback play to really help him and just keep them in conversation. Last year, you could argue that for the first couple of weeks, there was no running back better than Jonathan Taylor because the Colts were just steamrolling teams and he was running roughshod over people. And then the injuries happened to Daniel Jones, and they kind of have that whole implosion. They try to save the season, but like that's kind of where I'm going at, where a lot of people may not consider Jonathan Taylor one of those upper echelon running backs, and he absolutely is. Yeah. What are your thoughts on the Taylor extension?
No, I like it just because the Colts, they have like a huge window. We're going to talk about them more in the AFC South preview, but their window is pretty much there. And now he fits your timeline of, hey, we can get to the playoffs. We can maybe make a run, and especially with the way that the Colts play, and if Daniel Jones comes back and he plays at the level before he got hurt, and especially if it's in the playoffs, I mean, I don't see how you not think the Colts are one of the better teams in the NFL, if not, sleeper contenders in the AFC this year. So I like it just because Jonathan Taylor, he's only 27. He still will have that speed. You didn't keep him anywhere past the wrong side of 30. So by the time this contract ends, he's 29, and then you can reevaluate from there. If you're going to be like, you know what, we want to make you a franchise legend, JT, here you go. We're going to give you another extension. Or you just let him walk, and then Jonathan Taylor can go to another team and try to use his legs there and stuff. But no, I like this signing a lot, especially because Taylor is so important to that offense. And when he actually had a competent quarterback play with Daniel Jones, I can't believe I'm saying that, but Daniel Jones was actually a very competent quarterback last year. And all the other additions that the Colts are making on offense, like, you got to keep this guy happy. You want to keep this guy in the locker room. He's the captain for a reason. He's one of the best players in the NFL. So yes, I think signing him makes a whole lot of sense, especially if you're the Colts and you're an all-in approach. And that's how it feels like the Colts are doing, because they know their conference is wide open. Mm-hmm. They know it's a weaker conference and they're taking advantage of it. And they felt last year, if it wasn't for injuries, they probably would be a team in the AFC Championship, if not maybe playing in the Super Bowl. And if we saw the AFC team that represented the Super Bowl and the two teams that were in the AFC Championships, they have every right to think that they could have possibly went there. So yes.
I mean, yeah, like there was a time there during the 25 season that I was watching so closely everything that happened with the Chargers and the Colts, because the Colts, both of them, had those two wins over. They had the wins over Denver, and both of those field goal situations, right? Like especially the Colts one with that leverage penalty. If that leverage penalty goes the other way, then I don't have to worry about the Colts. But I did up until
what about when Herbert broke the sack and he threw it and Keenan Allen caught that in the end zone? How sick was that? How sick was that? That you can't deny. You were probably like, man, Herbert's so fucking good. Top 10.
Let's leave the 2025 memories alone. I don't think any Chargers fan wants to bring up the 2025 season.
What do you mean? It was a good season. We just got a bunch of injuries, like every
I don't. Let's if just it's one of those bury the game ball situations.
It's not our fault that we had a bunch of idiots play right and left tackle and couldn't protect my quarterback in a playoff game against a winnable team in the Patriots.
Listen, maybe like the Clippers, they can use some of that Madison beer money just like under the table to pay off some people to get things done.
And who says we're not
with Kawhi? But that leads us to, it kind of was the two dominoes, which was what was going to happen first, whether it was going to be the Bijan contract or this other running back contract. And as soon as one happened, like almost a day or so later, the other one happened. And that is none other than Jahmyr Gibbs. Speaking of leave the memories alone, we have to leave the memories of Sonic and Knuckles behind. David Montgomery is now a Houston Texan. But for Sonic, who left behind, there's a lot to like. And for him, he signed a 3-year, $67.5 million contract extension, making him the highest paid running back in the NFL. It's very similar to Bijan's contract. It runs through the 2030 season and averages $22.5 million per year. This has been a year in and year out incredible player, and has been one of the big reasons why you can never count the Detroit Lions out of a game. And, if Pacheco can do even an 80% or 75% impersonation of David Montgomery, then their Sonic and Knuckles light version of Sonic and Knuckles will be really good, because Gibbs is just that damn good. What are your thoughts on the Gibbs contract?
Oh, this was tremendous for Detroit. Like, I love how Detroit, they've been keeping all their like impact players and stuff. Like, they've just been signing them, cap space be held. They're like, we'll worry about when we worry about it. Like, we got to cap these players. We want these players to know that, like, we're the Detroit Lions. Because, like, man, other teams, they would have let at least one of these players go. But the Detroit Lions, they're really showing they're committed and making sure to keep that team chemistry, to keep that team going. And Jahmyr Gibbs absolutely earned it. He's a game wrecker. This guy has tremendous speed. Once he gets past the safeties, kiss him goodbye. He's going to go to the end zone. He's going to score. He is just absolutely a phenomenal player. And the Lions, unlike the Falcons, it's like this. Like, in these next 3 years, this is your Super Bowl window. And you're in a very tough, competitive NFC North. You need all the firepower you can get. And this is probably, like, if the Bears and the Packers and the Vikings, they have machine guns, you have a bazooka in Jahmyr Gibbs. And that bazooka can wreck a game. So that's why it's like, you have to sign this guy. You have to keep this guy on the roster. Like, this guy is your engine. Like, Dan Campbell loves to run the football. And Jahmyr Gibbs, on any touch, can go for 99 to, like, even on the smaller touches, it's like, okay, cool. Like, he got there, but it's just body blows. And then finally, he catches you with that speed, and then it's all over from there. So I like all the running back signings, but this one is by far my favorite, just because the Lions, they've been good for so long. Last year, I know they took a little bit of a step back. It wasn't the Detroit Lions, we all know. But I think now this year, it's like, now with Gibbs being the main focus running back, no more splitting touches, no more doing this. It's going to be probably a more high impact offense for the Detroit Lions, and Jahmyr Gibbs makes the most sense to sign.
Well, that's actually one of the things that's going to be interesting to me, because the touches that Monty would take were those touches that were beneficial to Gibbs because it allowed him to rest, and that's something we don't really know. And so, like, I don't think Pacheco can do what Monty can. So how they structure that is going to be fascinating.
I think it'll be like Jahmyr Gibbs' final season at college at Alabama, where he was pretty much the main running back, and then, like, they would just randomly throw in some random dude every so often, and then it'd be like, oh, here's this guy, and then like for 2 touches, that'll be Pacheco for like 2 touches. But hey, Pacheco, he's also like one battering ram, break a tackle, and then all of a sudden he's off to the races too type of guy. But not as fast as Gibbs, but he'll break a tackle, and then teams are like, what the fuck, he broke the tackle, and then they stop running for whatever reason, and then he just keeps running.
But the real thing, I think, and this is a larger question around the entire Detroit organization, is going to be what is going to happen with Chase Oliver's favorite offensive coordinator for the past couple of years, 2023, 2024, and 2025, winner of the Chase Oliver Offensive Coordinator Award, Drew Petzing, who is now the offensive coordinator for the Lions.
Oh man, I didn't even know I gave him that award. I thought it was I thought I gave that to everyone else. Mike McDaniel, spoiler, Mike McDaniel, 2026 winner. I think he already won that award. Drew Petzing.
No, I'm being sarcastic. I don't think you would ever give Drew Petzing a coordinator award.
I think Drew Petzing, I think he's going to, I don't know if he's going to get with the times, but he should. He has 2 very fast players on his offense. He has a very athletic. He has 2 athletic tight ends. Brock Wright's also very athletic, like Laporta. Just not as fast as Laporta. Laporta is like fast. Brock Wright's like more like in the seams, fast. So it's like, when he's running straight, it's like, oh man, look at Brock Wright. Yeah, he has stuff. He has Amon-Ra, good route runner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Drew Petzing's gonna do shit. Yeah.
That's because remember last year they had gotten John Morton from Denver, and then they fired him after they fired him at the end of the season, but halfway through the season Dan Campbell took back play calling duties. So this is a situation where they are looking, because to your point, like they did take that step back last year, they're looking to get back on track. I think it's a situation where Petzing is kind of the albatross around their neck. But at least for right now, like he's going to prove me wrong in like a month or so.
The same thing with the Cardinals, like he did. He's going to find a random ass wide receiver, and that's going to be the number 1 wide receiver.
And it won't be Sun God or JMO.
Yeah,
it'll be Tesla.
Yeah, I saw Isaac Tesla. Yeah, he's the new Michael Wilson.
But speaking of the Detroit Lions, we now know where it seems former Detroit Lions cornerback Terrion Arnold will be signing. He will be becoming a Seattle Seahawk. Now, we don't know yet whether or not, even with the signing, whether he'll be able to play, simply because he could be put on the commissioner's exempt list ahead of everything that's happening with his trial down in Tampa, Florida. So what do you think about just generally the sign? Let's assume he's able to play. Mm-hmm. What do you think about the signing of Terrion Arnold to the Seattle Seahawks, and where would he slot in?
I think it's a fine signing. Arnold just wasn't really that good for the Lions last year. Like he had a lot of bad holding and pass interference calls against him. Like he's a good corner. It's just like, but Seattle also needs depth at corner because like they let go of Rick. Well, they don't let go. They traded Rick Woolen to the Eagles. Like they need more good players. Like thanks. Yeah, let's just give everyone. How does Howie Roseman do it? This guy's a fucking evil genius. I swear. This guy just knows what he's doing. He just finds a way. He turns gold into gold. Howie Roseman. He's just like, okay, fine. He's like the Sam Presti of the NFL. He just finds a way. But yeah, they got rid of Rick Woolen. Their cornerback room is kind of shallow. So Terrion Arnold does give you another good outside corner. I feel like he would rotate in with Seattle at this moment of time. But he is someone that fits with what Mike McDonald likes in his corners. And especially in zone, Terrion Arnold plays better zone than he does man-to-man. So the thing is with Terrion Arnold is just like he needs to cut off with the bad habits that he has, not only off the field, but on the field. Like he's just such an idiot when he's on the field sometimes. Like he does a lot of stupid things. Like I know a Lions fan that was just like so done with Terrion Arnold. He goes, Chase, there's no way this guy was coached by Saban. I'm like, oh no, he did the same shit at Alabama. Trust me. Like I saw this at Alabama, man. It's just like the plays that you would see Terrion Arnold do well, you're like, oh man, this guy's great. And then there's plays where it's just like, man, this guy stinks.
They can't all have that like even keeled monotone voice. I'm just here to play the game that Patrick Surtain has.
Saban's kid.
You can't all have that. But let's turn to our preview for this region, the South. 8 teams to talk about. Would you like to start with the AFC or the NFC? Dealer's choice.
Let's go with the NFC South. I think that's AFC, where it's more closer to home and stuff. And I feel like both these conferences are very competitive. I don't know who would win either one of them. And the NFC South, it's like that was fun last year. I mean, all four teams had a chance to make a playoffs with a losing record. And you know what's funny? All of them hit their overs on wins last year. Like they were all like 7.5, and then they all hit it. And it's like cool. So you could have made some good change.
All right. Well, with that in mind, let's start with Carolina
They
Panthers.
won the conference, and we started with them.
What are you talking about?
They're the NFC South champs.
Okay? All right. Who would you like to start with then?
Whoever the fourth place team was between all the teams'
All
tied
right,
records.
All right.
Disrespect.
I wanted to start with your guy Bryce Young.
Disrespect to the NFC South champion Panthers.
Listen, I was trying to do you the solid, but all right.
No, we got to respect the division champions. We can't so when we talk about the AFC West, the Broncos will be last. Like, we can't talk about the division champions first.
Again, I was just trying to be nice to you.
No, I appreciate it, but that's disrespectful to the Carolina Panthers. They did the unthinkable. Like, if you bet them to win the NFC South, you won. It was plus 5,000 last year for them to win the NFC South, and they did it.
Well, let's talk about the
disrespect
of the division, and that is the New Orleans Saints.
Who dat?
The Saints had arguably a strong season.
Yeah,
coming in fourth. They really did kind of exceed expectations, not specifically from the win perspective, but from the overall performance perspective.
Oh, much more fun to watch.
Yeah, and Kellen Moore, like there's been growth. We've seen that growth, and they did find a quarterback in Tyler Shuck. There's no need to worry about Spencer Rattler anymore. I mean, I know he's there, but they did bring in Zach Wilson, so I have a feeling Zach Wilson's going to get the backup job, and Spencer Rattler is going to be gone. But Tyler Shuck, for being a 26-year-old rookie, because he turns 27 in a couple months, he did very well. And there's a lot of things to like about what New Orleans is doing going forward. One of the things that we can see is a lot of new names. There's the big one of Jordan Tyson from the draft, one of the big three wide receivers of the 2026 draft. But also, it's the addition of Travis Etienne. And bringing him over from Jacksonville in free agency, he gets to return home to his home area. Alvin Kamara has for a very long time, like you see as a 17, been the running back, the lead running back for New Orleans. But he is getting older, and he probably is not going to be on this team next year. But allowing him to have a chance to actually rest and not be the entire person on this offense is really important. And when you pair up fresher legs like HN with Chris Olave, with Jordan Tyson, like there's a lot to like for Tyler Shuck, and a very underrated tight end. Juwan Johnson he's not like one of these top 10 guys or anything like that, but he's a solid top 15 kind of tight end. And that's, if you have Tyson and Olave, what you need is somebody reliable. You don't need somebody who's a game breaker. You need a reliable, okay, it's third down, it's 3rd and 5. Those two guys are drawing coverage. Let's get the ball to Juwan Johnson, but we know he's going to catch it. It's one of those kind of situations. So the real question to me is the defense. The Saints defense, let me remove this for a second, brings back almost all of their starters. They only really added Caden Ellis from a starter standpoint. Now, granted, this is what our labs is saying is the depth chart as of right now. It's going to change as cuts happen and whatever happens with different trades and stuff. But they brought in a couple pieces here and there on defense. Like they trade for Tyree Wilson. They bring in Martin Emerson Jr. Like there's different players that are going to be able to offer them hopefully the ability to have this defense have fresher legs. So who's a player that you're looking forward to watching on offense and on defense for the Saints?
Well, on offense, I would have to say, by the way, John saying his name correctly, he told us it's Travis Etienne, not ETN. For whatever reason, he decided took him many years, but he said, you know what? It's Travis Etienne now. Okay. On offense, it's definitely Devon Bailey. I felt that Devon Bailey did a great job for a little bit of time before he got hurt with the Saints, and I felt him and Shuck had a weird, like, fun connection. So I feel like Bailey is like a guy, like, like the Saints traded like a pretty high draft pick to get this guy, and then it was just
the fourth, I think.
yeah, fourth round pick to get a guy that was on Denver's bench, and I'm sure Sean Payton's like, what? Who is this?
No,
a thing?
Okay, so that trade is hilarious because like he was a 7th round pick.
Yeah.
Devon Bailey was, and what they got from the Saints was a 4th rounder and a 7th rounder.
Yeah, so Sean Payton was just like, yeah, let's send this to the league right now and stuff. But yeah, no, Devon Bailey, I thought he did really well. Like Olave and Tyson, obviously those are obvious choices and stuff. But I feel like Bailey, him and Chuck last year, they had a nice little connection. So I'm very excited to see how they keep building off that. Defensively wise, honestly, we got to look at Chase Young. I think it's about time we have to see if this guy is actually an elite pass rusher or not. Like I'm so tired of like just the inconsistency of this guy. Like, come on, Chase, you got this, man. You have my name. You should be good at this football thing. Chase after the quarterback, get some sacks. Pretend you're in Washington again. Pretend Carl Granderson is Montez Sweat, and just pretend you're in Washington again, and just have another double-digit sack season. But yeah, no, I think the Saints, they will be fine. I think they'll be fun. I think Kellen Moore has something with this offense. I think Kellen Moore has his quarterback in Tyler Shuck, which kind of weird to say that Tyler Shuck is their quarterback, but hey, it is what it is. He played well. A lot of people felt that he should have won Rookie of the Year. They still have those 2 badass tackles in Banks and Falaga. The middle of the offensive line, Eric McCoy is holding it down. They signed David Edwards, which was a really good signing from Buffalo. Cesar Ruiz is like your only weakest piece. So I think offensive line-wise, they have one of the stronger offensive lines. Hopefully Devin Neal comes back healthy. That'd be nice to see on the offensive side of the ball, giving them a nice little 3-headed monster at the running back position. We all know Keandre Miller will find a way on the roster somehow, and this guy will get touches. And I'm like, why is Keandre Miller just getting touches all of a sudden? Like, this guy's always on the field.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm really interested to see like this running back rotation, like to your point, because they do have options. And Keandre Miller, like I remember saying this last year, he got kind of shafted because of different coaching decisions. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people had some high hopes for Devin Neal, but like you're going to be RB2 for when Kamara leaves. Like that's right now is your ceiling. But from the team perspective, having somebody who is a really good RB2 is important. Like that is something that you absolutely valuable. So if they're able to really take some of that pressure off of Tyler Shuck's passing game with a strong run game, they can potentially do pretty well, which brings me to the question of we have a bunch of over-under win props for teams coming out now. And right now, the win props for the Saints is what do you think it is? Let's go with that.
5.5.
The over-under for the Saints, 7.5.
Wow.
So let's take a look at their schedule and see what we think there's going to get 7.5 wins. Because that's, I mean, like, granted, it's a 4th place schedule, but you're opening up against the Lions, the Ravens.
This is the worst sport. This is the worst 4th place schedule I've ever seen. This looks tough as hell. What? Congrats! You placed 4th in the NFC South. Here's your barn burner schedule you're facing. This schedule is tough.
Bro, I was really confused when I saw this that it was 7.5 wins. It's very confusing to me.
Yeah, I sorry, Who Dat Nation. It's under. This is under.
So I guess let's look at let's ignore that, right? Because I think both of us, me because I was looking at this now ahead of the show, and you because I told you, are both going to be betting the under on the 7.5 wins once this show is over. But let's ignore that for a second, and let's just talk about if you are Kellen Moore, if you are Tyler Shuck and this offense and this defense. What are the games that you're looking at on this schedule to say, if we win this, we know we're trending in the right direction?
It has to be the first.
Let's not get over our skis and be like, oh, well, if we beat the Detroit and Ravens in week 1 and week 2, like that's going to be hard to do.
It's the first game of the season. If you beat them at Detroit, that kind of helps you. That helps build momentum for the whole season.
Bro, if they beat Detroit in Detroit, Tampa Bay is going to back up a Brinks truck to Baker Mayfield's house and be like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think also at Chicago in November, I think that's a pretty big game for them, especially because we think the Bears are going to be good. So that's another important game. A lot of the games, because I always try to choose NFC matchups because I think that's the most important. Cincinnati's another important game. Home against Green Bay, that would be a kind of nice big home win. Bring back the Superdome, which is one of the louder fan bases when the Saints are good, and against a team like the Packers, who we also think will be good. So I think one of those games, like the Bears, and I think any team they face in the NFC North, that's their big games this season, like NFC wise. Detroit, Minnesota, Chicago, and Green Bay. Those wins, especially if we can beat Detroit week 1. Like, I know it's week 1, but still, like, no, dude, I bet you the line for that is like Detroit 7.5. Like, they're giving Detroit like a touchdown advantage over the Saints. Like,
I can't.
There's no way.
It's 6.5.
Yeah, exactly. 6.5 for Detroit. They think Detroit's gonna freaking destroy these kids.
It's -330 for the Lions. -330 the money line.
Yeah, they're heavy favorites in this game. Yeah, makes sense. So yeah, Detroit. That's a great win to start off the season. Then you get your asses kicked by Baltimore.
Dang. But let's turn from last place to third place, and that is the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, man.
The Atlanta Falcons. This is a mess. This whole situation is a mess. Look at that. Just look at that defense and look at the changes that have happened. And remember last year we were talking about, in the 2025 draft, they got to go defense. And that's what they did. And now both of those guys are possibly not going to play for them right now. They are a team that is really, really in flux because they don't know what's happening with Michael Penix Jr. And they really don't know what they have yet in Tua. Like, can Tua regain form, or was a lot of what Tua was able to do because of Mike McDaniel? We don't know. And and the idea that Michael Penix Jr.'s doctor, Michael Penix Jr. telling us what his doctor said is that this is the best ACL I've ever seen in my life now. Like, you're never going to have a problem with it.
You're never going to have a problem again. It's the best ACL I've ever seen. I've never seen an ACL like this. It's one of the best ones. It'll never tear.
It'll never
break.
He's torn more ACLs than the human body has. And I'm supposed to believe that the doctor is telling him you have the best ACL I've ever seen.
It'll never go again, John. I'm telling you, John, it's a new ACL. We put a whole new technology in there. It's Michael Penix 5.0.
Becky Lynch should sue Michael Penix for gimmick infringement. That's what I thought.
You know what's funny? When Michael Penix was like, "Yeah, I'm making great progress. I can't take any hits though." I'm like, "Is that the part of playing football?"
But the one thing that they're trying to figure out is this offense, which is interesting because last year I was talking about how they brought back almost all the starters and everything. And now look at this wide receiver room. Like, it's Jahan Dotson, Zacchaeus from Chicago, Antoine Wells. But the bright spot from the wide receiver room outside of the Drake Londons of the world is Zachariah Branch. That is a rookie that is picking up steam and has been getting a lot of people talking about him in training camp. So potentially he will supplant Zacchaeus or Dotson in short order. And I think that's probably one of the better things that they can have just for the long-term future, because we do know what Jahan Dotson is, and we do know what Olamide Zacchaeus is. Branch at least offers something new and, something that we haven't seen before for the Falcons. And it's an offense that, had Darnell Mooney and Ray McLeod, and they had stability, and now that stability is gone. But who are players that you're looking for, whether it's offense or defense? Because to me, this defense is just, God, they really got to get their house in order.
Yeah, man, because they brought in Samson Obuakun and Azeez Ojali, and they're like, hey, you guys are going to be just rotational edge rushers for our two main ones, and Pierce Jr. and Jalen Walker. And now it's like, hey, you guys got promoted. Congratulations. You guys are now our most important employees. Like, they're like, wait, what? We thought we were going to be rotation guys. Like, what happened here? Well, on the defensive side of the ball, I've always been a big fan of Divine Diablo, and I really hope he does have a really good season. I really think he's a fun player to watch. I think he's gonna have a lot of good stats, and it's because the Falcons' defense will be bad and letting up a lot of yards. Like he'll be like leading the league in tackles, and everyone's like, "Oh, Divine Diablo, he seems like." Yeah, but how come is it because he's always on the field? Is that why he's leading the league in tackles? Like like all the Browns linebackers would be leading the league in tackles, and it's like, yeah, because they're always on the freaking field. Like they're not good. Interested to see how the younger Terrell does this season. Avion Terrell. Going to be playing alongside his brother AJ Terrell. Wonder if they're going to use him more as a nickel, maybe have it where he is a primary corner. He's a little bit shorter, but hey, it's not everything. Offensively, I ain't going to lie, man. Besides Bajan, Pitts, and Drake London, I don't care about any of these guys. Like, these guys all are just...
Kevin Stefanski has his job cut out for him.
Yeah. By the way, how dare you? Olamide Zaccheaus returns home. He's back. He's back where he belongs. He was in Atlanta. He's coming home. He said, "You know what? I'm back."
I think it's funny that one of the Atlanta Falcons strategies, regardless of head coach, is to sign a wide receiver from the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
They had Darnell Mooney. Now they've got Zaccheaus.
It's like Olamide Zaccheaus is like a lesser Darnell Mooney, and Jahan Dotson is a lesser Ray Ray McLeod, who they just gave up last season.
It's like just tell us that Zachariah Branch is going to be.
Even with Branch, I'm not that excited because sometimes at Georgia and before in SC, he would just disappear from games. Like there'd be times where it's just what happened.
But like at least here, you could count on him having a bit more motivation because he's finally in the NFL. Like the idea of I get a chance to really prove myself, sort of thing.
How many ball starts would Jawan Taylor have this year that they won't call?
Oh my god!
You know he's gonna be. This is what Falcons fans are gonna have to watch.
No, they're gonna call them. He's not in Kansas anymore.
Oh yeah, he's on it. You're not with me anymore, John. You're right.
They're gonna call those false starts now, buddy.
You tell this guy, man. Come on. Hey, how come you guys are not starting with the AFC West, guys? Come on, man.
Oh no, we're gonna save the West. We're gonna save the West.
Oh man, they have to listen to all these other loser conferences. Whatever, man.
Well, the Falcons have three sports books are giving them over under 7.5 wins, and Fox is giving them 6.5 wins. So let's take a look at.
I ain't even kidding. I would not be surprised if we see Cooper Rush start a game for these guys this year.
Oh no, I would not be surprised by that either.
Yeah, like I just wouldn't be surprised. I think the Falcons might be the first team. They will have like 4 quarterbacks on the roster, and then one as an emergency quarterback. They'll play the emergency. They'll have 5 quarterbacks every single game just in case.
This is an interesting schedule,
dude. This is what we're sending to fucking Spain. The Bengals and the Falcons. Man, they're not going to be fans of football after this. What the hell?
I mean, it could be actually wouldn't even be Jake Browning. It'd be Joe Flacco for Cincinnati at that point.
Bernabeu, the legendary Bernabeu is getting Falcons and Bengals.
There's a part of me that really believes that you are being serious when you say legendary.
It is.
I don't know.
Bernabeu. Yeah, no, it's a legendary stadium in Spain, the Bernabeu.
All right. Hey, more knowledge for me.
Yeah, no, I can't believe this is.
Yeah, this schedule is ridiculous. Like, I mean, look at some of these teams they got to face. Like again, like they're also going to be facing the Ravens. They've got at least they get to be home when they're doing it.
Yeah.
They also like look at that stretch at Saints, which we're talking about the Saints like how could be scrappy. Then Ravens, Bears, Niners at Bucks. Then you're in Spain for the Bengals, and then the Chiefs. Like that's. For a bit of a murderer's row, like that's not a bad murderer's row. Like that is like a pretty serious one to have to deal with.
Because we don't know how many lives the electric substation will take from the Niners before they play them. Have you seen that Twitter account, the electric substation Twitter account?
Oh no, somebody made an actual one.
Yeah, it's called the electric substation, and every time like they give like a Niners injury report or they go like this guy's progressing fast, he'll quote tweet and be like, "We'll see about that." I'm like, oh man,
that's great. I love that.
The electric substation also because the Niners are doing the joint practice with the tight ends. So I guess they put the Titans on the field closer to the electric substation, and the electric substation quote tweeted, "This is not my fault. I did not decide this."
You know what I think is fascinating about this is the NFL was like, listen, guys, we know that we know that for the NFC South, none of this matters until the very end. And look at who the Falcons are playing in the last 3 games.
Yeah, no. Well, also too, because it doesn't matter because they give them the same schedule they did last year, where on the 26th and the 27th, it's TBD. They don't know, like, oh, is that going to be the Saturday or the Sunday game, like they did last year, where they were like, okay, we'll have one on Saturday, one on Sunday type of deal. So, yeah, the thing with the Falcons, I think that's the games that are like going to matter to them. Those last 3 games, I think the Falcons, especially if it goes like last year in the NFC South, they just have to hang on and stay above water. And then these last 3 games could actually decide if they make the playoffs or not, whether it be winning the South, which most likely I think I'm going to be honest. I don't see any wild card teams out of the NFC South. Like, this is one of the few divisions where I'm like, there's no wild card team potential. Like, it's only, you have to win this division. Because let's be real, the NFC East, NFC North, and NFC West, they all have teams that are more wild card potential than any teams from the NFC South. Like, yeah, I think those are the 3 crucial games this year. Those are the games to watch. Like, all these other games, like, yeah, they'll be fun. Like, I think the games versus the Bears, that could be a fun game. I think also too, revenge game for Kevin Stefanski on December 13th, Cleveland Browns. Yeah, it'll be a nice little revenge game. It'll be fun. I think that'd be a cool game. Chiefs.
He doesn't know what quarterback he'll have by then.
Man, we know who the quarterback is.
No. For the Falcons, I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
That could be the Cooper Rush game, is what I'm saying.
Oh, no. Kansas City Chiefs, November 15th. I could see it at November 8th. Both quarterbacks get hurt. And November 15th, we have to watch Cooper Rush versus Patrick Mahomes at Atlanta.
You know how pissed I'd be if that happened? Like,
come on, man. Hey, man. You guys get to talk about me because I'm playing most of these teams, man.
Hey, Pat, you're gonna be all right, buddy. Figure out what's going on with your ACL.
Everything's fine, man. Fuck. Everyone just plays that one clip of me throwing my football at the helmet, and everyone thinks I'm washed. Whatever.
To be fair, it is a funny clip. But let's turn to.
You're a funny guy. How about
that? Let's turn to the runner-up last year.
Watching this on quarterbacks
through no fault of their own, sort of through no fault of their own.
I mean, they lost a lot of crucial games that they should have won. I mean,
but at the end, like that last.
But they did beat the Panthers.
It is really funny, right? Like multiple years in a row, we have had to watch a quarterback on quarterbacks watch another team's game to figure out whether he is in the playoffs. Like,
I love how Baker was not with his family at all. He's watching it on like the kitchen TV, and his family's all watching it in the living room, and he's just watching in the kitchen. And I'm like, dude, that's so smart. He just does not want to be bothered right now. Like, like that was the time I think Baker Mayfield would have cursed out his wife. He would have been like, give me the fuck, because they were all like, Baker, you see that play? They're like, Baker, you see that play? And he's like, yeah, I saw it. And he's like, yeah, he's watching the game in the kitchen. Like, what do you expect?
But yeah, like that was watching him, like to have to watch us watching him see if he's going to get into the playoffs, of us watching Burrow see if the Bengals are going to get into the playoffs. I don't know, like if I was a quarterback being approached by quarterbacks, like, do you want to be on the show? I would highly consider saying no, because like the money can't be worth it, considering like almost all of these teams, something bad ends up happening to them. Yeah. But let's talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, there's a lot here. The big one is this is the first time in a long time that Mike Evans is no longer on the roster. Part of the reason why this is because they really do believe in Emeka Egbuka, and they really do believe in Jalen McMillan. They also brought in Ted Hurst, very speedy, very fast wide receiver in the draft. You don't see a lot of changes here on the offense. They did bring in Jake Browning as the new backup for Baker, which is, I don't know why that's just funny to me, but it is. The defense is what's interesting, right? Like, you bring in Alex Anzalone from Detroit. That is going to be really fascinating for me to watch. Christian Rosenbaum as well, like to back up. Like this linebacker situation is really, really interesting because you have Ruben Bain Jr. and Josiah Trotter. These two guys as your rookies, these are very, very important picks because especially Ruben Bain Jr. If he works and is one of the better or best linebacking options from that 26 draft, like it's basically just him and Sonny Styles. But if he is
we're not discrediting Arbel Reese right now.
Oh, sorry, Arbel Reese. I'm getting them mixed up. But like out of those
all three of those dudes, yeah.
If all three of them, if Ruben Bain is like the best one, like that's a solid pickup from where he was drafted versus Arbel Reese and Sonny Styles. That's where I was going with that.
Oh yeah.
Like, Vita Vea, that contract situation, that's also a big one. And granted,
I think Vita Vea is getting traded.
It's possible, but that's also where I'm like, who do you have behind him, right? Like if we look at this depth chart, it's like, what are you getting back and what are you going to have? This is a team that, to your point, needs to win the division in order to make the playoffs. So it's like you have to have the best team possible in this situation. You can't rely on potentially being a wild card team. Like you can't think about that. You have to think of raise a division banner. So who are the players? And Josiah Trotter is one that I would have loved for Denver to get. From a middle linebacker perspective. So obviously I think we could say that Ruben Bain Jr. is somebody that to watch or somebody that you're looking forward to see. But besides him, who are the players that you think are really going to be able to be that impact person for the Buccaneers as they try to regain the division lead?
Oh, Anzalone. This guy was an impact player for the Detroit Lions. I know Lions fans hated him near the end of his tenure. Well, I know one Lions fan, and he was very upset with Anzalone a lot of times, but in terms of emotional leader, the guy that gets everyone up, that's Alex Anzalone. Like we saw that with the Detroit Lions last year of how much of a good signal caller he is for that team. So I think that's Alex Anzalone, and then also trying to see if Yaya Diaby can wake up. Like having Yaya Diaby being a good edge rusher would be very, very nice because Ruben Bain Jr. He already looked phenomenal. I mean, he kicked Armand Membu's ass in the joint practices, and Armand Membu is no joke. Like he is just an absolute unit of a man, and he's a really good tackle. And I was telling people, hey, he's the best edge rusher in this draft class. Everyone's like, no, he's too psycho, too crazy. That's what I want in my defensive ends. Psycho, crazy, writes that they want to kill everyone in their notebooks. Give me that guy. I want that guy every day of the week.
Got a death note.
They also need to see upgrades at their cornerback position. I just feel like none of the cornerbacks are really, really good. Like Winfield Jr. is a terrific safety, but besides that DB room is very, very weak. Offensively, oh man, the greatest handcuff of all time, Kenneth Gainwell. I don't know why he's now Kenny Gainwell. Is he changing his name too? Kenny Gainwell? Like Kenneth Gainwell, some way, somehow will find a way on a football field. And you won't know how, you won't know why. He's just there. He's just like that nightmare monster. You know the sleep paralysis demon? That's going to be Bucky Urban's sleep paralysis demon. You're going to wake up and you're going to be like, Coach, why are you thinking about the huddle? Oh, Gainwell needs his touches. Like, what? Gainwell touches. Sean Tucker's just like, Coach, I'm right here. I'm talented too. You ain't Kenneth Gainwell, though. That's for sure. And it's like, oh, man. But yeah, no, the offense should be fine. I don't have any concerns with the offense. Baker, I think, will play well. And, he's once again another sleeper for the MVP race as well. Wirfs is a great tackle. You guys know I love Emeka Egbuka. Going to be one of the greatest receivers of all time. So great sleeper for OPOY is Emeka Egbuka.
That'd be interesting. That would be if he won OPOY, considering the field, that'd be fascinating.
Good sleeper. I said sleeper. I didn't say
No. I know.
Yeah.
But Vegas is kind of telling us who they think is winning the division because Tampa Bay has the highest over-under out of the division, and it's 8.5 wins.
So they don't want you to cash on. What assholes.
So let's take a look at what Tampa Bay's schedule is going to be and where they're going to get the potential 9 wins to win out in the division. This is very similar of a schedule to ones we've seen before, but I think I'm really interested in that Chargers game.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very interested in that Rams game.
Oh, yeah.
Because that Rams game, that really has the ability for both teams, Tampa Bay and Los Angeles, to impact whether or not they can win the division.
Mm-hmm.
Because if Tampa Bay wins, it's possible the Rams are now a game behind Seattle, and they're going to have to be a wild card team again. If the Rams win, it's possible that Tampa Bay is going to be a game behind Carolina or Atlanta, and they're going to have to be a wild card team, which we don't think that the NFC South is going to send a wild card team. So what are the games out of this that you're really looking forward to seeing, and as this potential 8.5 win season happens?
Oh man, I'm so excited for this Thursday night primetime game with the Cowboys. That's going to be a fun game. I think that's a big time test too, to see if like the Cowboys, are they going to be a playoff team, but also too, I just think, especially looking at this opening schedule, okay, you have 2 AFC opponents, so losing those games don't really hurt you that much. It just hurts you overall record wise.
Mm-hmm.
But then you got to go play against Minnesota and Green Bay in week 3 and week 4. And then going against the Dallas Cowboys at AT&T Stadium on a short week after facing the Green Bay Packers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's kind of tough. I mean, it's nice that they have like 3 home games in a row to start the season, but then afterwards it's kind of split throughout the rest of the season. Travel, road. No international games, which is really good. I like a week 10 bye too. It's a nice later bye.
Mm-hmm.
And any bye after week 10, I think, is always like a premier bye. Like, league's fucking you over if you get like a week 6 bye. Like they just hate you. Like they just want your team to suffer and stuff. But yeah, no, I think the Buccaneers, this schedule, like the Cowboys game and the Packers game, those 2 early games are very, very interesting. Like you said, that Rams game is definitely one of those where it's just like, okay, like that's like a potential, like, oh, we could actually see this in the playoff type of game. But also too, let's say the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a really good team, and let's just say the Rams, being the Super Bowl favorites that they are a really good team. That's a potential NFC Championship preview right there between those 2 teams. And then coming off the bye, taking on the Detroit Lions at Ford Field, that's also very interesting. I think Tampa Bay, looking at the schedule, this is one of the most fun schedules I've seen in the NFL. Like, this is one of those where it's like, oh man, like a lot of these games could be actually very, very fun to watch.
Yeah. And I just realized that Bears game's, I think, Sunday Night Football. Yeah.
Oh, Mike, we're going to see Caleb Williams, and it might get flexed. I mean, it's November. It's in Chicago. It's going to be cold, Mike. I'm not showing up. I'm going to show up.
But let's turn to
the reigning, defending NFC South champions. Keep on pounding.
The Carolina Panthers.
Isn't it sad, like, the Panthers have more NFC South titles than, like, all these other teams, like, in recent years and stuff? It's like they keep winning these things, and no one knows how or why. They just
it's a bit of a mystery whether it was Cam Newton or because Cam was like putting those teams on his back when it was it was basically him and Kuechly that were on each the respective sides of the ball, putting the team on the back. And now it's Bryce Young trying to figure out, by any means necessary. And this is a team that did not have that many picks, but they tried to maximize the value that they could with each of them. And bringing in somebody like Monroe Freeling in the first round to help bolster that offensive line, that I think is really, really interesting. This team is kind of like it's sort of like a very young kind of potential all-star team in that sense, right? Like Bryce, we kind of know what we have with Bryce, but there is still the potential for him to continue to take steps forward. But there is all of these guys on the wide receiver room where it's like there's some young talent here. There's Ted McMillan. There's Xavier Legette, who can maybe, figure things out. And Jalen Coker. A lot of people high on Jalen Coker. No pun intended. Like there's options here.
Don't forget about Jimmy Horn Jr. He's fun to watch too.
One of the most fascinating
John Mechie.
One of the most fascinating things, though, is not in the wide receiver room. It's in the running back room. Is this the year with Jonathan Brooks that we see what he was intended to be from the 2020?
John, just like Trey what's his name in Arizona? Is it Trey Sermon? Yeah. we just gotta let it go.
Trey Benson.
Just like Trey Benson, we just gotta leave the memories alone. Like Jonathan Brooks, Trey Benson, Christine Michael, we like all the running backs that it's like this is their year. Finally, will they get their chance? We gotta let it go. I think Trevor Achane has a better chance doing well.
I mean, Chuba Hubbard actually just got picked up a little bit of an injury, so you never know.
And then Jonathan Brooks will randomly get injured, and it's Trevor Achane
show. Come on.
And then it's AJ Dillon time.
Let the young king get a chance.
Is he your Shedeur Sanders, Jonathan Brooks?
No, I just want to see what happens. But that I do find their backup QB room to be hilarious. Like you've got Kenny Pickett, Super Bowl champion Kenny Pickett, Haynes King, and then Kyle Trask from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm like, wait, what is this shit?
I understand Trask. That's someone that Canales worked with, so I feel like that's someone where it's just like, oh, like let's just bring in a guy that knows my offense.
Yeah.
Haynes King, definitely big time. Who was that New Orleans Saints quarterback that they always used to trot out every so often? Oh, why am I drawing it like? Huh?
Taysom Hill.
Yeah, I think he's Taysom Hill 2.0. Haynes King, he's been. I mean, he's spawned. I like him.
Yeah, like if people were watching the Hall of Fame game, he won the game. Like dude,
that's what he did at Georgia Tech every single. Like go back and watch Haynes King in college. It was just like this guy. Like if you played the college football games, he was always on red wear and tear, but somehow some way he would find a way to get like 5 yards and get killed and get back up. Man, 25-year-old legend Haynes King.
But how do you feel about their two big kind of free agency signings in Jalen Phillips from Philadelphia and Devin Lloyd from Jacksonville? That's a big one to me.
I like both of them, honestly. Jalen Phillips, like injuries have kind of hurt him a little bit, and he hasn't had the sack numbers that you look at. But I do think because like he's still so young, like he's like what 25, 26-ish. There's a chance he can explode and become a really good edge rusher in the NFL. So I really do like Jalen Phillips. And Devin Lloyd, he had a really good career year last year. Like he was phenomenal in the pass coverage. I feel like that's the leader that Jacksonville was missing at the linebacker position. Like they just had a bunch of athletic dudes at the linebacker position, but they never really had a guy that was athletic and also like a leader and a play caller. So those are the two that I'm like, man, that's good quality signings right there. I like that. Like that's a good way to spend your money. And then also too, it builds off your star, which is Derrick Brown. You know, Derrick Brown is the star of this defense. JC Horn as well. But Derrick Brown is your main star. He's one of the best players in the NFL. One of the best defensive end because they play in a 3-4, so I say he's more of a D tackle. But he's one of the best D tackles in the NFL. So like to me, it's just like, man, like getting a guy like Jalen Phillips to kind of pair up as an edge rusher, whether he's on the same side or the opposite side with Derrick Brown, and then having a Devin Lloyd who's a solid blitzer and then also really good in pass coverage. I think he had like 4 or 5 interceptions last year, Devin Lloyd. Like he played well. Like Devin Lloyd played really, really well for the Jacksonville Jaguars like last year. And then heck, if Trevin Wallace can kind of pick up the game a little bit better with his blazing speed, you have a really good middle linebacker duo in your 3-4 defense that can play coverage and play well. And of course, you know, JC Horn, that guy's really, really good. They just really need to see, like, Trevon Moehrig did not have a good season compared to like what you thought you were going to get him after signing him. Like you thought like, oh man, we just got this really young, great safety from the Raiders. Why did they let him walk? And it's like, man, the Raiders actually let someone walk for once and they were right. Like what's going on here? Really, to be honest though, it's the offensive line. Like Ekema Nkwonkwu, they gave him money and he doesn't feel like a franchise left tackle. Like if you're all like, all right, Chase, do you feel good about Ekema Nkwonkwu being your franchise LT? I'll be like, not really. Like, it's cool. I mean, did we have to pay him? I guess. I mean, the tackle room is kind of weak. But did we have to pay him? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you feel good? Like, John, do you? I know we're biased because we actually have good tackles.
Right.
Would you feel good if Ekema Nkwonkwu was your left tackle? Like, if you're like, we just paid a bunch of money to Ekema Nkwonkwu.
No, but I mean, like, I can see the rest of the guys in that room and say, okay, I can kind of understand what they're trying to do. Like they're basically saying the sum of the whole is better than the sum of the parts is what they're trying to do. It's not that crazy of a contract.
You still pay the money.
I mean, yeah. But while not to get us off topic.
I'm okay with getting off topic.
Sid just got out of the Odyssey.
Oh,
man, that was great. Matt Damon smashed that shit.
You hear that in your sleep now, SP3?
As you know, Chris Nolan is my favorite director, so I mean, I love the Odyssey.
Yeah, terrific movie.
Robert Pattinson with the "Get these beggars out of here."
Get these beggars out of here. That's one of the best memes to come out of the movie. I love how it's not in high definition. It's just someone filming it from their phone. It makes it 10 times better.
I do appreciate that Zendaya and Tom Holland, making a shit ton of money with the Odyssey, and then handed the reins of box office king to themselves. Yeah. Oh, and John Bernthal, the three of them just handed the baton to themselves. It was a fun thing.
Obsession's still my favorite movie this year, though.
I still haven't seen that.
Oh, it's on Peacock. It's such a good psychological horror. It's such a good. I love that movie. It's I'm not big into that kind of stuff, but it was really good. Like I wasn't expecting it to be that good.
Yeah, as somebody who's not like super into horror or like the supernatural kind of horror, like when it's religious horror, supernatural, as just doesn't. I'll watch a Scream. I'll watch a Halloween.
Yeah. I'm a slasher horror guy.
That kind of thing, but the supernatural. So I was like, I'll wait for streaming for that one.
See, that was like a supernatural horror when the Panthers signed Eka Makwaku. They were like, oh, yeah. I just don't feel good about them signing him.
Vegas is only giving them 6.5 wins. That's the over/under for them.
That's
after winning the skin of their teeth last year. Yeah, so let's take, which means that Vegas actually has them in 4th place because they gave the Saints 7.5. They gave the Falcons 7.
I'm betting the over.
They gave Tampa Bay 8.5. So they're only giving them.
Do they think Ted McMillan is just going to lose his arms and legs and can't play football?
No, I think they're saying that Carolina having to play a first place schedule is going to force them to take a step back because they are playing some of the more interesting teams. Look, they've got Detroit Lions at Eagles. They have to host the Broncos.
The NFC South got fucked. Every schedule you show me, I'm just like, oh my god, these teams all got fucked with the schedules. I'm sorry, NFC South fans. Yeah, I won't make fun of your records this year. I can understand. I'm looking at every schedule you show me from the Saints, oh my god, these are horrible, horrible, just rough.
Right now, based off of expected wins and things like that, Tankathon has the Falcons picking 7th, the Saints picking 8th, the Panthers picking 10th, and the Buccaneers picking 19th. Yeah, because they're anticipating the division as a division winner, they'll be a little bit higher, so they'll be in a playoff game. Yeah. But so let's put it this way: they would have the Falcons taking Jordan Seaton, offensive tackle, LSU. They'd have the Saints taking Leonard Moore, DB, Notre Dame. They'd have the Panthers taking David Stone, defensive lineman, Oklahoma, and then the Buccaneers taking Trey'Dez Green, a tight end, LSU.
Interesting.
That's actually a good way to put a button on each division as we talk about them to show
this schedule stinks.
It's crazy, bro. Look at that. You got to face the Lions,
and they got a week 5 bye. Oh, they fucked over
the Ravens
bye.
Yeah, this is gonna be tough. This is gonna be tough.
Yeah, that stretch from the Eagles all the way to the Saints is that's disgusting. They'll be lucky if they win one of those.
That is man.
At least you get to face Denver at home. That's the only shining light of this stretch that I see. It's
I mean, look, from a viewer perspective, I'm looking forward to seeing Ted McMillan versus Pat.
Oh, Ted's not lining up against him.
That's probably true.
Yeah, Ted's number one thing. I love Ted McMillan, And I don't know, somehow, some way, his mom's gonna watch this video and be like, "Don't talk about Nani like that." But he always lined up against the weaker corner during his time at Arizona.
And listen, Riley Moss does like to give DPI calls, so listen, it could work.
And Tet's a big guy. It's kind of hard to guard that guy.
But let's turn from the NFC South to a division that's
we don't even talk about games we're excited to see the Panthers play in. Like we're just like, fuck it.
That's what we do. What games are you excited to see them play? I just said the Broncos, but
for me, the Eagles week 6 after a bye, I feel like you have to win that game. And then honestly, maybe there's a world where the Panthers. I love how the Pittsburgh Steelers game, it's either the 24, 26, 20. They don't know when to put this stupid game. They're like, fuck. We'll see. They don't know what.
They're like, nobody wants to watch this.
This game is horrible.
Wait, hold on a second. So like the schedule makers are like, who booked this shit? It's like, how do you look in the mirror?
No, do we ruin Christmas Eve by putting the Panthers and the Steelers? Like, tell Al Michaels you got to work Christmas Eve. Watch this Panthers and Steelers. But the Seahawks game is one that I'm interested in. I just love that.
Wait, hold on.
They don't know what to put this stupid Panthers Pittsburgh game on.
Hold on. Think about this. Think about this from the perspective not of the Panthers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but from the other teams. Ready?
Yeah.
In Week 17, to potentially determine the division, the Seattle Seahawks have to face the Carolina Panthers. In Week 17, to potentially determine the division winner, the Los Angeles Rams have to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Like, Seattle's got to be like, oh, this is kind of nice. And Sean McVay's like, what did I do to deserve this?
Oh, the Buccaneers finished second. That's what you deserve. I'm still laughing. 24, 26, 27, 28. Find a day for these losers. They don't know. How funny it would be. All right, Christmas Eve, you're supposed to hang out with your family. Sorry. Gotta watch Panthers and Steelers on Christmas Eve. Aaron Rodgers and Bryce Young. That's the funniest Christmas Eve game. Why is that even an option on Christmas Eve?
Listen, somebody's got to get that game.
No. that's oh my God. This is the funniest thing I've ever seen. 24, 26, 27, 28. Find a date.
Well, with that, we put a pin in the NFC South and we turn to the AFC South, and we will start with the last place team in the division, the Tennessee Titans.
Shocking.
Tennessee Titans have a brand new logo. They've got a brand new wide receiver one.
New colors.
They've got a brand new head coach. They've got a brand new offensive coordinator.
Oh, yeah.
Robert Saleh takes over as the head coach. He brings in Brian Dable as his offensive coordinator. One of the first things they do is sign Wan'Dale Robinson from the New York Giants. If you are in fantasy, Wan'Dale Robinson has consistently had really, really, really ridiculous amounts of targets in a Brian Dable offense. Now, is that because Malik Neighbors got injured? Possibly. But he consistently has done it even before Malik Neighbors got there. So that could be a wide receiver 3 or wide receiver 4 for your team, depending on how your draft shakes out. But as Cardinal Tate gets his feet wet, maybe he will take over that primary target position. But this is not like a bad wide receiver room. No, like, remember last year we were talking about, we were like Calvin Ridley, like Omenor. We were like, yes.
And then Chimere DK, he was like a really good special teamer for them, but also a good deep threat. Yeah, I like their wide receiver room a lot.
They've got some, we could say, stability in Mitch Trubisky as the backup quarterback. Who knows what's going to happen with your boy Will Levis there, bud? But there's
this is like the Chase Oliver off right here. True and Will Levis. Oh man. The all-time Chase Oliver quarterback list.
And another cast off from the Brian Dable Giants, Daniel Bellinger coming in to be the backup.
I like Bellinger too.
To Gunnar Helm with Chiga Okonkwo going to Washington. There's this offense could be interesting, but you don't hire Robert Saleh for a good offense necessarily. You hire him for a good defense, and this is gonna be like, whether he can get something out of a lot of these players, he's got the raw materials, right? Like, You bring in Cordell Flott, you bring in Jermaine Johnson, you bring in John Franklin Myers from Denver, and then you go and draft people like Kendrick Falk, Anthony Hill.
Mm-hmm.
You can really revitalize this defense in short time if a lot of these signings and draft picks hit. A lot, some players from Denver, John Franklin Myers and Cody Barton, but then also a middle linebacker that I would have also liked Denver to get in Anthony Hill. Who are the players that you're looking forward to seeing, whether they're going to be the ones that make a real impact in taking this Tennessee franchise from a 3-14 win to, I don't know, something higher than that?
Yeah, on defense, I would love to see if Jermaine Johnson breaks out. This guy was a physical freak coming out of college. Obviously people knew him from the Last Chance U TV show on Netflix, but he was barely on it. Like he was just happened to be on the roster of one of the teams and stuff. Like he was barely on the show, but then he goes to Florida State, dominates there, gets drafted with one of those 3 first-round picks from the Jets that they had a couple years back, and then one man's trash was another man's gold. That's how the Jets felt about Jermaine Johnson. They traded him for Tavondre Sweat, who I was high on last year, and he got traded for Jermaine Johnson. But a guy familiar with Salah's defense, and hopefully he pairs up well with Jeffrey Simmons. I love the John Franklin Myers signing. I think very underrated, kind of like won't have the stats that makes you say like, oh man, this guy's great, but he just does all the dirty work. And I think you need someone like that to do the dirty work as Jeffrey Simmons, wreaks havoc and gets into the backfield to either sack or tackle the running back. So I am looking forward to see what he does. Keldrick Falk, also more of a developmental guy. Like a lot of people did not think like that was like, he kind of slid in the draft, and the Titans traded up to get this guy because they felt like, yeah, he's not going to be in the second round, and it makes sense for us to get a guy like Keldrick Falk who could be a really, really good pass rusher in the NFL. A lot of teams did like him, so we'll see if he pans out. Anthony Hill, I think, is going to do well. He just has the speed that Saleh likes at linebacker. I don't think Cedric Gray or Cody Barton will be starting for much longer in that thing. Lante Taylor is also a guy that I feel has been massively underrated throughout his career at the cornerback position. So I think that was a good pickup from the New Orleans Saints. Cordell Flott, someone that's familiar with Dable, but also familiar with Salah's defense, kind of likes that 4-3 defense. So kind of like that as a pickup as well. Offensively, they did kind of go after the offensive line a little bit. I don't know if they got the best guys, but they did get a new guard and a new center. So we'll see how that turns out. Wan'Dale Robinson, first ever 5'8" wide receiver to have 1,000 yards. Shout out to our short Keens out there. He did the work. But no, yeah, the wide receiver room and the tight end room and even the running back room, excitement. You have Tony Pollard, who's always been consistent. Tyjae Spears, who hasn't seemed to break through as RB1, but is a good RB2. But then you get the interesting, will this guy pan out? And if he pans out and he plays well, Titans got a steal for in the 5th round with Nicholas Singleton. Like if Nicholas Singleton just plays to potential that we think that he can play at, he's going to be a really good player. Former Nittany Lion. I know he also shared backfield touches with another talented Penn State running back, but Nicholas Singleton was the one that everyone was saying, oh yeah, this guy, he's going to be like when we were talking about running backs in this draft class. It wasn't Jeremiah Love that everyone would say was number 1.
Originally,
it was Nicholas Singleton. This guy was supposed to be the number 1 running back taken, and he fell, and he fell, and he fell, and he fell, and now he's here. So,
yeah, and the thing is,
him or K. Allen, one of those two.
Yeah, the thing with the Titans is that they have been looking for, I don't want to say a bell cow, because the era of the bell cow running back is few and far, but there's very few guys that really fit that notion anymore for what teams want and what they try to do. But they need consistency. And Pollard and Tyjae Spears have been like consistently, if you combine them, you get a really good running back. And they from a roster build standpoint, they need somebody who can handle that load and not need to get paid as much, in the sense of like they're happier to pay if you combine Pollard and Tyjae Spears' salaries and what their contract is, and you just reduced it by a bit and you gave that to one player, they'd be happier than having to have two players, because it just allows them to not worry about how many running backs they need to have on the roster. Because like right now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's six running backs on this roster. They don't want to have 6. They want to have at most 4, because they need other spots available, especially on this defense, as they try to get this defense back to where it needs to be. This is in a very high-powered offense division. You got to have a good defense. So how they figure that out is, if, to your point, Singleton pans out, then you can afford to say, all right, Julius Chestnut, Michael Carter, maybe even Khalil Mullings, we don't necessarily need you. Like, unless you're going to be a good kick returner or punt returner, special teams we don't really need you as much on this squad.
Yeah, and I think with Daboll, especially because he likes Cam Ward, that was a quarterback, as we saw in the offseason with the New York Giants. He really, really liked Cam Ward. He's going to a place where it's a quarterback that he likes. It's players that kind of fit the scheme that Daboll wants to run. By the way, I believe Daboll was with Alabama when Calvin Ridley was there, so he's familiar with Calvin Ridley as well. Like, let me look that up real quick, because I can't remember if Daboll was on the 2015. He won a national title with Alabama, but I can't remember if he was the OC when Ridley was there, Ridley's breakout season, because I know he won a national title with Alabama. It was like with 1 year he was there and stuff.
Oh, was that right before he got hired by the Giants?
Yeah. No, by the
2017.
Bills. 2017.
Oh, you're right. 2017. Yeah, they both were
there. He was there, led the comeback, coached Hurts, got Tua, but Ridley was on that team, and that was Ridley's best season as a player. So another player that, is familiar with the Brian Daboll offense and knows what Daboll likes in his players and stuff. So I think this is going to be a really good offense for the Titans. I think they're going to be much more improved. Still think they're a year away from being like contenders in the AFC South, but I think Titans fans have a little bit more to look forward to until we see the schedule. I don't know, because I really want to be nice to these NFC South teams, and then I saw all their schedules and I said, Jesus Christ, like, you trying to kill these kids?
Well, okay. So last year the Titans were 3-14, and this year Vegas right now is putting the over/under at 6.5. So let's take a look and see how they could potentially be a 7-win team.
Oh, this is a much nicer schedule.
Jets, Eagles, at Giants, at Ravens, Texans, Colts.
What did the NFC South do?
Yeah, there's a lot of the same teams actually that the NFC South.
But this is much friendlier. This is nicer.
Yeah.
It's not as killer. Like, you get to play the Jets week 1. Nice.
That could be a win. At Giants, depending on whether there's still growing pains with
Daboll revenge game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, whether there's growing pains with Harbaugh and Dart and Scatabo figuring that out. Maybe his Neighbors back by then. Who knows? Because Neighbors he could very well start on PUP and then he misses the first 4. So there's that could potentially be a win. Like, the divisional games obviously are going to be a bit tougher, but let's put it this way. Where do you, let's say over under 6.5, where do you see that the 7 wins coming from? Let's say you had to. You're taking it.
I got Jets, Giants, one of the Texans games, one of the Jaguars games. I think the Colts sweep them this year. Vegas, Pittsburgh at the end of the season.
Vegas, Pittsburgh. You need one more.
One more. Dallas.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I think they can beat Dallas. You never know with Dallas. Like, they're such goofballs. They're my goofballs, but they're such goofies. Like, you just don't know. You just don't know what you're gonna get.
Listen, if every year you just say that the Dallas Cowboys are going to win the NFC East,
I'm going to say that. Spoiler for the NFC East video that we're going to do. I'm going to say it again. You're not going to stop me.
I'm not trying to stop you.
You're not going to stop me on this
it's
one.
Fun for me. But let's turn.
My time. I want it now.
Let's turn from the 4th place Tennessee Titans to the team that a lot of people for the first half of the season thought was going to win this whole division.
Well, they look like world beaters.
Oh, my God.
Not just the division. People thought they were going to win the conference.
People thought they were going to win the exactly. And this was a huge year last year, to the point that the Colts thought that they were going to be so good that they were willing to give away first-round draft capital for Sauce Gardner at the trade deadline. And then everything happened that happened. But you can see that they didn't really have to do too much on offense. They really do believe in their offense. And we get a backup in the 7th round for Jonathan Taylor, who just got that contract extension that we talked about. We get Alec Pierce getting that big contract. They trade Michael Pittman to the Steelers. Daniel Jones has been looking all right in camp. Now, the question is whether he is going to revert to 2024 and prior Daniel Jones, or whether that change, whatever happened in the beginning of that 2025 season, that off-season training program into the season, whether that really has stuck and Shane Steichen has figured out how to get Daniel Jones to stop being an idiot. If that's true, well then, I mean, there's no reason why this offense can't pick up right where they left off before the Daniel Jones injury. And so what they did was they went out and they said, look, the defense was good, but it could be better. And so they start picking up people from different teams, but more importantly, it's some of these draft picks, particularly C.J. Allen as a middle linebacker in the 2nd round, A.J. Hulsey as a strong safety in the 3rd round. There are a lot of different things to like about this defense. One of the things I think is going to be the linchpin for this is the Jets were willing to get rid of Sauce Gardner because he was starting to take a step back.
After extending him.
But like,
remember we talked about that, and you're like, they wouldn't trade him, they just extended him, and I was like, I don't know, maybe they could, and then they traded him. Like,
I did not expect Sauce Gardner to have the fall off that he has had. I mean, like, let's not forget.
Do you know Sauce Gardner's real name?
What?
Do you know Sauce Gardner's real name?
Don't actually.
Ahmad.
Stick with Sauce.
Oh.
But there were people who had, Sauce Gardner above a certain cornerback in Denver. Okay,
Not
so listen,
I didn't
expect people to have expect Gardner to have the fall off that he has had, but that's why the Jets were like, you know what, let's get him out of here. And also there was some attitude issues and things like that, but they need him. The Colts, they need him.
Calls himself Sauce, having attitude issues. Shocked.
They need him this year to really prove that he was worth the draft capital that they gave up to get him, because lest we forget, that was a really big trade. That was a huge trade. It was like franchise changing for both of these franchises in that they gave away, they gave Adonai Mitchell 2 first-round picks, not 1, but 2, to 1 in 2026 and 1 in 2027. The Jets got Kenyon Sadiq, who was considered one of the better, if not the best, tight end in the draft.
Do you think this is Irsay's daughter's Trent Richardson trade? Remember when he traded for Trent Richardson for a first-round pick? And he was like, I got a great running back with a great quarterback, and then Richardson sucked. Do you think Irsay's daughter, it was like father, like daughter, I'm just going to overpay for a player that's probably not worth it?
But listen, before I turn this over to you, I just want to recap that last year at this time, you know where I'm going with this.
Oh, the greatest.
You got annoyed that Daniel Jones was listed first on the depth chart over Anthony Richardson. And now, not only is Anthony Richardson listed 3rd, there's a very good chance that that's where he is going to be, and he will be playing his last season in Indianapolis for the foreseeable future. But they also brought in your boy, Easton Stick. Look at that. Chargers legend.
This is the worst backup quarterback room I've ever seen. Like Riley Leonard. You know how bad Riley Leonard was? They were just like, no, we gotta kill Phil Rivers. We gotta get Phil Rivers in here.
Speaking of which, so right now there's a preseason game that is 13 seconds left in the 4th quarter. It is tied. Indianapolis Colts and New England Patriots both have 13 points with 13 seconds left. And 13 is supposed to be an unlucky number. But this is the current stats. Ready? Anthony Richardson, 11 for 14, 145 yards, 1 interception, 1 fumble lost, 6 rushes for 53 yards, and 1 touchdown. And this is Riley Leonard, 9 for 18. So 50%.
Yeah.
83 yards,
Oh.
1 interception.
Oh.
1 fumble, but he recovered it.
Oh, okay, good job.
And 2 rushes for 12 yards. So in a sense, they're basically the same. There's an argument for Anthony Richardson as QB2. I guess that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no. Anthony Richardson has the better potential at QB number 2 than Riley. Riley Leonard is just, after that Notre Dame championship game, I was like, this guy's not a starting quarterback in the NFL. Like, he was just so atrocious in that game. It was like, but yeah, one of the worst backup quarterback rooms. I'm a big Alec Pierce believer, though. Love Alec Pierce. Deep ball monster. Just goes up and gets it. Josh Downs, he had a fun little year too. So got rid of Michael Pittman. They traded him away, which kind of made sense. Like, Pierce and Pittman were kind of redundant, and Pierce kind of like showed that he was more superior to Pittman at the deep balls. So it was just like, yeah, let's just go with Pitt. We just gotta go with Pierce.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but like Pierce's injury, that's going to be something for like I agree with you, like from a long-term perspective,
Yeah.
Pierce over Pittman, but like for this season, that Pierce injury is going to be one to watch.
Yeah, thank God they have this beast called Tyler Warren. if Brock Bowers is a Lamborghini, then Tyler Warren is like the brand below it. It's just like he's so good. Like
John's prince who was promised.
Yeah, Tyler Warren is so nice. I really like this guy as a player. Defensively, not a big fan of bringing in like new linebackers because like they don't have like a linebacker that's kind of used to their defense. So it's kind of like weird that they got rid of Zaire Franklin, who I thought was like pretty decent. Like I know he wasn't playing the best, but kind of weird to get rid of him and bring in Akeem Davis Gaithers and have CJ Allen, a rookie, kind of like take that role, unless you think CJ Allen's going to be like plug and play right away. So like to me, like that's my one thing about the defense. I think the defense kind of takes a step back because not having a primary signal caller and someone that I feel like makes a difference, like Akeem Davis Gaithers, this guy was on Arizona. Like, what are you thinking this guy's going to bring to the table? Like, come on now, like.
Yeah, it's this is a. Oof. Wait, do you know who their defensive coordinator is?
No.
Oh, sorry, it was last year and this year. It's your boy, Lou Anarumo.
Oh yeah, Lou did good. He got scapegoated. Yeah, by Cincinnati.
In Cincinnati, and they got Jim Bob Cooter, famous from the Detroit Lions from years ago.
Yeah, they have a nice DB room though, especially if Sauce plays well, because Cam Taylor-Britt's pretty good too.
Yeah, there's a lot. If you're a Colts fan,
and Jonathan Owens is a good special teams player.
Yeah, because think about it. If you're a Colts fan, you just have
Simone Biles at the games too.
That didn't really work out for the Bears, but oh my God! Remember when she listen, bless her heart, because she really didn't understand or know, I guess, but remember when in order to support her husband, she wore a jacket to a Bears game that had his name on the back. However, it was Packers themed because he was a Packers player.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't really realize why that wasn't a good thing to do in Chicago. But here's my thing. For all those Bears fans that got mad at her, how many gold medals did you bring to the United States?
Exactly.
That many. Fuck off.
Her and Michael Phelps, greatest U.S. Olympians of all time.
But the Indianapolis Colts are Vegas is a little bit divided. They have them. Two of the sports books have them at 8.5 wins, and 2 of the sports books have them at 7.5 wins. So let's take a look at who we think is right, and who could potentially.
Wow, what a friendly schedule!
To 7.5 or 8.5 wins. This is supposed to be an 8 to 9 win team. We're getting some new teams here. The Commanders pop up, I think, for the first time for us talking about them.
This is a nice little schedule, actually.
At Kansas City Chiefs, at Commanders. There we go.
Third place team too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At Vikings, at Jags.
Wait till you see our schedule and y'all laughing how easy it is.
Well, listen, you just need your leg to be all right.
It's fine, man. Shut up.
But what are the games that you're kind of looking forward to? Listen, look at that. There's another one of those, December 24, 26, 27, with the Bengals. At least it's the Bengals, though.
Yeah,
this game be a little bit more fun.
This game sounds like a good Christmas Eve game. Colts and Bengals? Yeah, I'll watch that on Christmas. Not like Steelers and Panthers. Sounds like torture. You're torturing your family. Come on. It's supposed to be the happiest time of the year. You have money You have your Christmas money on the Panthers and the Steelers. On the aunt just zelled you $300 and you immediately put it on Panthers money line like a good degenerate.
That would be a beautiful PSA ad for like sports gambling awareness. It's like, if you think you have a problem, call the hotline. It's like, grandma gave me $300 for Christmas. I immediately put it on the
I immediately put it on the Panthers. I did a sicko parlay. Bryce Young 2 touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers 3 touchdowns.
But yeah, what are the games you're looking forward to for this one?
Oh man. Honestly, they don't have many games where I'm like, oh wow, I'm looking forward to this one. I guess the Ravens is like their first game of the season, so it's kind of similar to like when we talked about the Saints with the NFC South. Like beating the Ravens kind of like helps you out a little bit, saying like, hey, we're still a great team. We just beat the Baltimore Ravens.
I mean, there's also, if you're the NFL historian, like there's the history aspect.
Yeah, the Baltimore move and everything. Yeah.
But like they
have a friendly middle to schedule. Like they could easily.
That's where I wanted to go with this.
And a week 13 bye. Oh,
if you're a Colts fan, this is why I like that. When you bringing up that middle section of the schedule, if you're a Colts fan, you have to believe that if nothing had gone wrong injury-wise last year, you're in at least the divisional round. So, like, you got to think, hey, if we just stay healthy, we're going to be good. Yeah, and so, like, that first few games it's tough, but then that middle section, you can make some hay. You can make some hay in that section. Then you rest up on that bye week, and you go into the rest of December, January. It's not. There's some tough matches there. Like there's at Eagles, there's the Bengals game, and then you got that Jaguars. But you do have the little hiccups there of the Titans and the Browns that can make things a bit easier for you. So like, yeah, I can see the 8.5. I can see it. I don't know if I necessarily would take it, but like I can see the argument for it.
Because if they split even if they go 0-2 in their first 2 games, and then like the Texans game, they sneak out a win and they go 1-2. They still have like an easy road to get like 4 or 5 wins straight.
And they usually do something dumb like that, right? Like with the Texans and the Colts, like they usually there's some ridiculousness that causes one of the teams to win off of a field goal or some nonsense like that.
Yeah, because like from Commanders, Steelers, Titans, Vikings, Jaguars, Cowboys, Dolphins, Texans, Giants, they could easily like go on a nice game stretch where they only lose 2 of those games before heading to bye. And then that gives them like only 4 losses for the start of the season, which is really good. So, yeah, good schedule for the third place team. The NFC South's like, I wish we got those schedules, but whatever.
One thing I did want to say is, last year they had the Colts at 7.5 wins, and they got pretty much like right there. But it was the other thing about the conversation that we were having there last year was just about like, if the Colts do this, like just if they middle of the road, they're going to be fine. And they really were until the wheels fell off and they just kind of imploded there with the injuries that happened. But let's turn to the runner-up of the division, the Houston Texans. Man, some new faces, some new faces. Now we already know.
Linemen.
Yeah. Now here's the thing. A lot of teams or a lot of people have said that this team is a Super Bowl contender, and I can see the argument for it. It really is about this defense, and amazing. This defense is so damn good. Like in the list of best defenses in the NFL, like there's an argument for the Texans being the number 1 defense. And it's a very strong argument. Like you can say the Seahawks, you maybe could say like Denver. Like Denver does have some issues when it comes to the linebacking core still, but like the Texans are solid. And you can see just like the names that they added on defense, it's depth pieces. They don't really need starters. And even then, they bring in Reed Blankenship from fucking Philly. And then they sign just for the ability to rotate so that they can bring a blitz all the time if they really want to. Jadeveon Clowney, like reuniting him in Houston. But the real thing, or the real problem as to why the Houston Texans may not be Super Bowl contenders has always been the offense. And a lot of that is resting on the shoulders of CJ Stroud. Can he get the job done? Can he get over the hump? Now, last year, we were talking about some of the moves that Houston was making, including trading away a lot of their offensive line talent. Laramie Tunsil gone. Then this offseason, they continued to do that. That was part of that trade to get David Montgomery. So they brought in some free agents. They drafted Kalen Rutledge in the first round. They draft Fubechi Nwaiwu as well in the fourth. And realistically, they're saying to themselves, if we can make a poor man's version of Sonic and Knuckles with Knuckles and Woody Marks as the poor man version of Gibbs, a very poor man version, no offense, Woody.
No.
They're like, we have something. But on top of that, this is a team that has seen Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel work well together, which is one of the things that I highlighted last year, was saying both of them coming out of Iowa State together. And Nico Collins has always just been that guy. If Tank Dell also can come back, this could be a scary offense. But a lot of it's going to come down to whether or not CJ Stroud proves beyond the shadow of a doubt that he is the guy in Houston. Who are you looking forward to watching when it comes to this team?
First off,
obviously defense, but
do you know Woody Marks' real name?
Why do these people have to go with not real names? But no,
Joquavius Marks.
I see why he went with Woody.
Come on, man. Defensively, of course, Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter, the greatest contract of all time, 1 year, $45 million. Or what will I always remember the day when I told you, hey, did you see Danielle Hunter's contract? And you're like, no. And then you were laughing because you couldn't believe that was a 1 year contract worth that much money. Greatest thing. Yeah, no, this Texans defense is just brutal to go against. It's tough. They can get after the quarterback. They can stop the passing. Like, they're just a really, really well-disciplined defense under head coach DeMeco Ryans. On the opposite side of the ball, it's just so interesting. They traded away their franchise left tackle, and I guess hindsight's 2020. Tunsil got hurt this offseason, but still kind of weird. But then they went on this huge, we're going to get every offensive lineman available in free agency. That's good. Braden Smith, teams were looking at him, and they were like, nope, we want him. Wyatt Teller, a guy that a lot of teams were looking at, and they're like, we want him. Evan Brown, for whatever reason, they were just like, we want him too. It's just like, and granted, the offensive line was horrible last year. They just couldn't give CJ Stroud any time in the pocket. But yeah, no, Stroud, he really needs to develop a little bit better. And I feel like the missing piece was Joe Mixon, who was so phenomenal for him the 1 year he played. We're always going to remember Houston Texans Joe Mixon. That what an icon of a player. Weird ass injury that happened. We still don't know the situation of what happened to him. His career is pretty much over. But hey, you get David Montgomery, Woody Marks, Jaquavius Marks. Yeah, seems like a good little 1-2 punch at running back. The wide receiver room, be nice to see Tank Dell come back. I always remember his injury too. One of the worst teams I've ever seen against the Chiefs out of all fucking teams. Who would have thought? But Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel, I like Higgins a lot. I was high on him last year. I hope he can pan out and become, the true number 2 wide receiver. And I think Jalen Noel has that potential as well. So I do think they have some pieces, the Houston Texans on offense, to be a little bit better. It is going to be the second year of the offensive coordinator, so maybe it was just first year trying to learn a new offense and stuff. I think I do like Stroud a lot. I do think he is a potentially good quarterback in the NFL. I just got to see a little bit more than you just tossing it to Nico Collins and hoping he catches it. I really need to see you spread that ball, be the distributor like you were at Ohio State. I get it, you're at Ohio State. Every wide receiver you're throwing to is the number 1 draft pick. You're probably throwing to a bunch of names that we've said already on this list. But I really need to see you, kind of step up a little bit, CJ Stroud. But that defense should help them carry them to win some games and probably be the favorite to win the AFC South.
While because we were just talking about the Titans. They're playing their preseason game right now against the Niners, and they're using all three quarterbacks. They had Cam Ward start the game. He went 5 for 12, 57 yards. They had Trubisky in for a little bit, 2 for 3, 23 yards, and Levis has been in. He's only thrown once. But what's interesting also is they're giving a lot of carries right now to Nick Singleton. 4 carries for Tyjae Spears, 4 carries for Tony Pollard, 6 for Nicholas Singleton. And right now he's averaging 3.8, so nothing like too crazy, but for compared to Spears and Pollard, who have NFL experience, I'm expecting Singleton to take a little bit of an adjustment.
Well, so much for this vaunted Texas defense. We were hyping them up, and they let up 27 points to the newly offense of Mike McDaniel. The genius. He was like, I got some motion plays for you, asshole. Think you're so good, D'Amico? Yeah. Well, let me show you my motions. Yeah.
All I know is that the Chargers had some guy named Amar Johnson get 2 touchdowns. So clearly, they should just cut Amari at Hampton.
What? South Dakota State legend Amar Johnson. He had, I saw the 1 touchdown he had, but like he had 2. He only had 1 run and another one. He looked pretty good. I think he might be. I think he might be a guy to be RB4 for the Chargers.
But
anything but Jared Patterson, please. Tired of this idiot.
The Texans are so here's the thing. I would not say that they're the universal favorite, but they are kind of being considered the odds-on favorite for the division. A lot of this because of that defense. No, but what I'm saying is because Vegas has the Jags at almost similar over-under. But the Texans right now across the board 9.5 wins. So let's take a look and see this number 2 schedule and how it's going to pan out, and to see whether they can turn the 27th schedule into number 1.
They're going to beat the Chargers. They always kick our asses.
Listen, you got to have some faith. But
no faith when we play the Texans. They're like our kryptonite. Every time we play them, we always find ways to lose.
Speaking of kryptonite, let's not forget, almost every time the Texans play the Bills, Josh Allen looks like a fucking sweep. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense. I did get it like the one time when like I knew Stephon Diggs was on the sidelines like chanting voodoo curses towards Josh Allen, but like other times I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. What's going on?
At least the Bills fans don't have to pay a bunch of money to not see their team play and stuff for this game. They can watch at the comfort of their homes. Bro, even in the video game, when they do like high shots for Highmark Stadium, you can't see the field. It's like the funniest scene. I'm like, oh my God, it's our imitation. That's so horrible by the Buffalo Bills.
I may be in Buffalo in the beginning of October, right around when that Patriots game is happening, just for art, like shits and giggles, because I knew Patriots Bills tickets going to be expensive. I took a look. The upper bowl nosebleeds, $400 a pop. I was like, that's ridiculous. I get that you just built a new stadium, but like, and I get that it's the Patriots, but like, that's ridiculous. That's insane.
Just wait till the week of SeatGeek, and then like you can probably find like a YouTuber be like, use my promo code today, and then you get 10% off, and then you're like, oh, cool, perfect.
But yeah, let's like this schedule is oof. Like I think they really are. Vegas really is rating this defense so highly.
Yeah.
They think all of these, they're going to be able to shut down some very high-powered offenses to the point that, maybe the Texans are winning like 17-point games. Like they scored 17 or they scored like 20 and they're winning the game because the defense stopped the other team's offense. Because like, look at that. Look, just even those first 4 games, Bills, Bengals, Colts, Cowboys. That's tough. That's tough. Like that's tough. And then even still, like I know you're down on the concept of Chargers Houston, but like that's not a walkover game.
No, and then, well, even against Jacksonville, that's not a walkover game.
Yeah.
And then when they play Makeem Shador, it's like, yeah, dude, that's not a walkover game at all.
9.5 wins seems interesting. Do you see it?
Honestly, looking at the schedule, no, I don't. because like I just feel like there's going to be some game, and because they're not basing some defenses that are slouches. Buffalo's defense got better. Cincinnati added some pieces on their defense as well, shored up that defensive line.
They once again have to exercise the demons of Christmas 2024 when they play the Ravens on November 29th.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so they have that. At least we know on December 24th we got the Eagles versus the. It's one of our Christmas Eve games. At least we know one of our Christmas Eve games. Do you think Pittsburgh and Panthers is the first one? I'm not gonna let that go. That shit was the most hilarious scene ever. So we know what game Al Michaels is calling. That's good. At least Al gets to call a good game on December 24th, or hopefully it's a good game. Who knows? Yeah, no, because they're playing a lot of good defenses. Pittsburgh's defense is still pretty solid defense.
I have to imagine
the Giants, that team could probably find something defensively, and it's John Harbaugh, so he knows how to play against this team.
We have to imagine that by January 4th, Michael Parsons is back. By that
Michael Parsons said that his return game is going to be against the Cowboys.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, he
said anger will make a man do.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is actually a very tough. Like Chargers defense is no slouch either. Like I know everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, Jesse Minter's gone," but Chris O'Leary was a strong safety coach when Minter was there. Went to Western Michigan, made them a top 50 defense. And by the way, that's in college football where there's like 136 teams. So being a top 50 defense is actually really impressive in college football, and it's Western fucking Michigan. I don't think anyone can you can't name me like 10 players on that Western Michigan defense. And so that's going to be tough too. And then Colts, Lou Anarumo, he's a good defensive coordinator. Yeah, this is not an easy task for them.
Like if you told me what was like if you told me somebody takes under on Texans at 9.5, and who was the other team? And we were talking about when we were doing the NFC South. I think it was the Saints. Yeah. They had the Saints at 7.5 wins. If you took under 9.5 for Texans, under 7.5 for Saints, I would not be that I'd be like, I get it. Like I can see why you'd be willing to risk the money.
Yeah, no, this seems like a good risk at the under and stuff. Yeah. This schedule is not an easy one. Like if Stroud's good, then it's like okay, yeah, I can see 9.5. But we're basing off what we know from last year, and it's like last year doesn't give you a lot of confidence.
Yeah, I think a lot of this comes down to whether or not Monty is that much of a difference maker. Because we got to remember last year it was the ghost of Nick Chubb and Woody Marks. So like if Monty's able to do better than Nick Chubb, which he should be able to do easily. No offense to Nick Chubb, incredible career. But like if he's able to be like that grind out yard kill clock guy that he was in Detroit, like I can see a way where that defense holds a team to like maybe 2 scores, like somewhere between 10 and 14, and then the Texans just score 17 points and they win the game. Like I can see it. It's just also I'm looking at it going, a lot of that is reliant upon things working exactly the right way. Mm-hmm. Things have to break the right way. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough schedule.
But that brings us to the final team to talk about, the Jacksonville Jaguars, who annoyingly were the team that broke Denver's home win streak last year, the fucking assholes. And also I had to watch my King Bo Nix send a hospital ball to Pat Bryant, which then put him in the hospital. Well, he was concussed, but either way. This is a really interesting season for the Jags, right? Because if you're the Jags, like you went 13-4 last year, you won the division. You kind of had Trevor Lawrence prove that he can be the guy. Like that was one of the things we were talking about last year. Like, will they be able to prove? Will Liam Cohen get this team on path? And they go, all right, cool. What are we going to do to build? And they go, well, the first thing we can do is not pay Travis Etienne. Why? Because we have Bashal Tutin. And it's fascinating because I was rewatching our preview from last year, and one of the things I talked about was potentially letting Travis Etienne walk or trading him because of Bashal Tutin. And that's exactly what happens. Now, they also do bring in Chris Rodriguez to be that RB2 now, though he'll
more of a pass catcher.
Yeah.
Rodriguez is good for that.
And he'll trade off with LaQuint Allen. LaQuint Allen's also supposed to be a better receiving back than pure running back. So
they also have Amir Abdullah, a good special teamer.
There's a lot of different options here. But one of the things, and this is what we talked about last year, was Travis Hunter. And I remember I said, the minute that something goes wrong with Travis Hunter, he gets an injury, they're going to take him off of defense. And that's basically what they did. And they had to shut him down for the season. And now they're saying he's going to probably be still more on offense than he is on defense. But
changing their mind again?
They keep going back and forth with this, man. Like it's this weird.
I've always been on the Travis Hunter. He's a better cornerback than he is a
wide
receiver.
Right. But to me, one of the reasons why you could have Travis Hunter be the cornerback is arguably the only reason. Okay, I would say, me personally, I think it's the best trade of the season from last year. I could see the argument why the Rashid Shaheed trade with the Seahawks and New Orleans was the better trade, because obviously the Seahawks won the Super Bowl. But like that Jacoby Myers trade, like that's why you can have Travis Hunter be in the cornerback room, because Jacoby Myers, like if anything happens with Brian Thomas Jr. confidence wise, Jacoby Myers is there. If anything happens to Parker Washington, Jacoby Myers is there. Like that guy is just a picture of consistency. And whether or not Brian Thomas Jr., like last year, he had that weird wrist injury that limited him. And you were very high on BTJ last year. I know that you had him as your number one wide receiver from the 24 draft. Yeah. But a lot of it also seemed like confidence issues or sort of he didn't want to get hit. And so if they've been able to help him overcome that, this is an offense that taking the next step forward is going to be really, really interesting to watch, especially because I think that Liam Cohen is going to go focus a bit more on the run, because yes, they have Brenton Strange as a tight end, but Nate Borkacher is a run blocking tight end. And drafting him in the second round, even you go back and get Tanner Kazoil in the fifth, who's a little bit more of that like receiving tight end, but you prioritize being able to run the ball. That's something to watch. This defense, they're returning all their starters. They've really turned things around on defense.
Minus Devin Lloyd.
Right. Yeah, they're Devin Lloyd, but they just moved the guy up. They were in a situation where they needed to go out and get somebody to replace. They had in-house, which is why they felt comfortable letting Lloyd walk. What are your thoughts on the 2026 Jaguars, man?
Not moved.
Not moved?
Not moved at all.
Why?
I feel like Liam Cohen's going to try to copy McVay and try to do this 13 personnel shit. That's why he has 3 tight ends that can play. Like, I don't know. Like, how many times have we seen this with Trevor Lawrence? He looks great one year, and then the next year he falls off a cliff. Like, I feel like consistency has been an issue, and it's not just in the NFL. It's also in college. First year in college, world beater. Second year, kind of fell off a little bit. Third year, looked a lot better, but then fell off again. It was just like, rookie year has been okay. Second year looked great. Like, I don't know what they're doing with Travis Hunter, which is kind of weird. Like, you guys traded up for him. Find a spot, play him. If he wants to play both sides, let him die. Who cares? This defense, let Josh Allen levitate into the end zone. Like, I've never seen this before in a football game where Josh Allen flew in the air in the wild card playoff game and scored a rushing touchdown by flying. I was like, what the hell is this? Offensive line is still kind of meh. Wide receiver room, Parker Washington was nice for them. Like, nice little revelation as slot receiver.
Let me put it like this. The Texans, Vegas said 9.5 wins. For the Jags, we have 3 sports books that say 9.5 wins and 1 that says 8.5 wins. So, August 13th, gun to your head, who do you have taking the division?
Texans.
Okay.
Over this?
Yeah. I too would agree with that. Mainly because like that Texans defense scares me. I've watched that defense now too many times. Especially last year, the Texans and Broncos game. Like that defense is scary.
I mean, you don't have to tell me they made Herbert one interception the whole season, throw 3 in the playoff game, and that wasn't even after peak.
Listen, he just needed an off season of drinking beer.
I mean, this team, like I said, they let Josh Allen levitate into the end zone.
It's true.
When people say Josh Allen is Jesus, I'm like, yeah, I saw him levitate. I was like, what?
Oh, man.
I mean, I think they're going to be fine, but I just think Liam Cohen is going to try to do all this. He's going to copy McVay, this 13 personnel. He's like, oh, this is the new trend, Duval. I'm going to do this trend now. And it's like, oh, why? Just do your own thing. Quit copying Sean McVay. It doesn't work when people try to copy him.
Yeah, it is.
Do you feel Bashaw Tuden is like an RB1 type of guy, or is it just because he's fast? People like him.
I think it's because he's fast.
Yeah, he's not like Achane, like where Achane, even though Devon, not Travis, Devon, even though Devon's smaller, there's a receiving threat with Devon Achane that's also pretty scary, and that he can kind of do that. And his speed is just a little bit like I feel Devon Achane is tempo speed, where he knows when to hit his speed gauge, while Bashaw Tuden, I think he just runs really fast.
Yeah, I think like the other aspect of this is that Tuten is like about almost 20 pounds heavier than Achane at the same height. So like that aspect of it is going to kick in. Like Achane's 40-yard dash is 4.32 and Tuten's is also 4.32. So like it's just a question of knowing when to do it and when to have that burst. I don't know if like Achane, despite being smaller and more compact, like he seems like the ability to bruise people. Yeah. Like it's tough to bring him down when you try to tackle him. And I just don't know if we have that with Bashaw Tuten. This is going to be an important season because like this could be a situation where they're like, man, we really should not have let Travis, Achane leave. We really should not have.
Yeah, because like Tuden, like I don't know, like because like I said, Devon Achane, he knows how to like stop, go, his speed. Like I've seen many games where it's just like, oh, he's getting tackled, and all of a sudden zip, and I'm like, holy shit, the acceleration. And Bashaw Tuden, there's been games where it's just like he just runs really fast, and the blocks don't get formed, and he just gets a 2-yard gain that could have been like. He needs to watch Kenneth Walker tape and watch how Kenneth Walker just walks to the line and then just cuts it. Oh, like I could watch Kenneth Walker, Le'Veon Bell, like
I was about to say,
just like casually get to the line and go cut, and then they just find a way to get 10 yards.
You know, Le'Veon Bell would do like some wild shit. He would just be like, "I'm gonna go over here. Oh, that looks like it's gonna be blocked. All right, maybe I'll just go over here."
Yeah. Prime Le'Veon Bell was something special, man. Kids wouldn't understand.
But they have a first place schedule, and like I said, 3 books have them at 9.5. 1 book has them at 8.5. So let's take a look. We both are taking the Texans as division winners. Let's look at this schedule.
We're like, screw them.
The Browns, that's a fairly straightforward opening. But then at Broncos, the rematch of last year, then Patriots. So you have the number 1 seed, the number 2 seed, back-to-back. At Bengals, Eagles, then you have the Texans, then a week 7.
Why is it that the NFL is giving all these good games on week 2? I was like hoping like the Broncos game would be sometime in November. I get to see where both these teams are at and be excited. And no, it's week 2. We got to watch this.
Oh, I honestly, like, I'm not saying this just because it's Denver. That's my team. I think they're coming out firing on all cylinders.
Oh yeah, no, I think the Broncos kicked their ass, and
they don't. No, I'm saying like just in general. I think Denver's like they. I think like as a team and as an organization, they are like we are getting to the Super Bowl. Like by hook or by crook, we are getting to the Super Bowl. Yeah, and I'm not saying that
it's up to your quarterback. That's the only thing holding it back.
Yeah, I mean like because the thing is you can't, and obviously like we're talking about the AFC South, but like you can't tell me that all you're going to do is get Jalen Waddle and tell me that you don't think that this team is like he was an ankle break away from going to the Super Bowl. So like I can see why.
Well, they're an A roster.
That's the question is going to be whether they can not succumb to the Chiefs' disease of 1-score wins turning the wrong way. But
2 home games in London for the Jags.
Yeah, back to back. Look at that. One thing I will say though about the AFC. This is in general an AFC comment, though it is particular to Denver, is that if Slater and Alt don't get hurt, it's a completely different year last year.
Right.
And that's going to be interesting because in the AFC, either the we kind of aren't expecting the Titans to win the division, and we kind of aren't expecting the why am I blanking on the other team? No. The Colts, yeah, the Colts. Like whether one of these 3 teams is to win the division, but then 2 of them are going to be fighting for wild card spots. So like, if the Chargers are what they should be,
yeah,
and not injured, even before, like, taking a step back, even before Mike McDaniel got there, if it was just Slater and Alt aren't hurt, it's a completely different landscape.
Oh yeah,
and how this wild card situation shakes out between Houston Texans, the Colts, and the Jaguars, whoever doesn't win the division, is going to be this is some of these AFC games are going to be really interesting to watch.
Oh yeah,
what are the ones that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, because especially because they play in the AFC North, they have to take advantage of all the AFC North games. But I think also the Bengals game, that's like probably like the big one where it's like, hey, you gotta go travel to Cincinnati before you get those 2 home games in London and stuff. So to me, it's like beating the Bengals kind of help out because the Bengals and also the Ravens game, both on the road, those are kind of big games, but also could be tiebreaker games for the AFC wildcard because the Bengals are a wildcard team. The Ravens could be a wildcard team as well. One of those 2 teams are going to be winning the AFC North or being in contention to win the AFC North this year. So it's kind of like those are the 2 games where you look at because you don't have like any comp. Like the AFC West one is just the Denver Broncos. So like if you can beat the Broncos, that helps you out as well in terms of wild card because it's between Denver Broncos, Chargers, and Chiefs. So like they're the wild card teams. But then in the AFC North, it's the not the Eagles, the Bengals, the Ravens, and then we can't count out Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. I know Tomlin's no longer there, but good old Mike McCarthy. Isn't it weird that Tomlin's not there? I know we're talking about the Jags, but it just hit me that Mike Tomlin, who's been there since I was a freshman in high school, is no longer.
NFL Network was doing like the kickoff to this Packers Steelers preseason game, and they had a graphic they showed the number of Steelers head coaches, and in 57 years, Mike McCarthy is the 4th head coach.
Wow,
1969. That's insane. That's insane levels of stability.
Jesus Christ! I can name you all the idiots that the Chargers had. I'm like, oh man! After Marty, it went. Norv Turner, my guy, Norv. Then after Norv, it was our guy, Mike McCoy.
Ridiculous.
After Mike McCoy, it was Anthony Lynn. Then Anthony Lynn, it was our boy Brandon Staley.
It is kind of funny, right? That
why is there someone else? I feel like I'm missing someone after Mike McCoy. Like I feel like there was another coach after McCoy.
Anthony Lynn.
Yeah, before Anthony Lynn. Why am I thinking there's someone else? Oh no, I'm thinking about when Brandon Staley got fired. We hired our special teams coordinator as our interim head coach, and then afterwards, it was Jim Harbaugh who got better.
Isn't it? Don't you think it's kind of funny that for his last season, granted he's coming back to the Steelers, but like Rodgers is reuniting with McCarthy, and they're both going to be with the Steelers organization, which is who they beat for that
to
one
win the Super Bowl. Yeah,
there's something poetic about that.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
no, but. Yeah, this Jaguar schedule, they definitely got to win those games because if they don't, it's just like kind of like one of those like I feel like they'll beat up on the bad teams. Like all the bad teams in their schedule, they can definitely win. But those AFC matchups, especially against the AFC North teams, and then that one Denver game, they definitely have to win those ones to, not only just secure like dominance in the AFC South, but also secure just in case if something goes haywire. Hey, we have a random ass losing streak. We just lost to Tennessee, New York, and Tennessee again. And then Chicago kicked our ass. You got a 4-game skid like that. It's just like, oh man. At least we got those wins over Denver, Cincinnati, and Baltimore. That helped out.
Yeah.
Even the Patriots, because the AFC East, it's not like that's the Patriots division,
Yeah, no. I mean, that's a strong argument there too. Yeah, like that's going to be important for them.
I feel like Denver, not Denver, Jaguars. A lot of their schedules, like a lot of these games are must win for them.
For who?
The Jaguars.
Oh yeah.
I feel like a lot of these games, like this opening stretch, they have to go 4-2. I think
because the problem is that until things change for the Titans, the AFC South is a lot like the AFC West in that the Raiders are terrible, the Titans are terrible. Like I said, until things change.
Yeah.
And then you have three teams that are jockeying for the division lead. Like before, back in the not too long ago, it really was just Chiefs Chargers, but now it's Chiefs Chargers Broncos. And for a while there, it was not the Jaguars, or it was not the Colts. And now it kind of is. And now the Colts are being added in there into the mix. Who gets that win? Who get the division lead shakes out? All of these games are, it's one of the reasons why it's more difficult for me to get into baseball and basketball, because I'm like, oh, they lost a game. Does it matter? There's 82 games or there's 162. But here with 17 games, like we're saying, all of these are almost must-win games.
I think what helps them too with this Jaguar schedule that's favorable is that they don't have any division games until like week 8. While with like all the other schedules we looked at, they have like a division game week 3, week 4. Yeah. But like I do think that these out of division games, to kind of like send a message, you got to go at least 4-2. You're like. I feel like the 2 games they'll lose, they always like to lose one in London. So I'll give the Eagles that one and stuff. So Eagles, I think they'll win their first division game against the Texans in week 6. And then I think they lose to the Broncos week 2. I think they killed the Browns week 1. Obviously, Shador's not starting. It's Deshaun. Deshaun's like, oh, yeah, I used to suck against this team. Let me just throw a bunch of interceptions. And then Shador tries to lead a comeback and then fails. And then no one's going to blame my glorious keeper for that. Then Denver's defense just gets at them. They can't figure it out. Liam Cohen gives up on that 13 tight end look that he's been trying. He's like, oh, why does it work for Sean McVay? Because he's Sean McVay, and that's why it works. Go on and shellac the Patriots. Then this defense, for whatever reason, like Bengals is missing like one of their guards, and then their defense just kills Joe Burrow for like 3 or 4 sacks. Then they lose to the Eagles, and then afterwards at Wembley Stadium, Tony Khan will be like talking about like, this is where I made Will Ospreay the AEW champion, and everyone's like, we don't care, Tony, just get us some good players, and then they win, go on a bye, and we'll see what's the rest. But yeah, I think they need to go 4-2 in this opening stretch of the schedule. That gives you a nice cushion, and then that helps you out, especially if you have the skid that I talked about, Tennessee, New York, Chicago Bears skid. Where you're just like, oh, how do we lose these 4 games? How do we lose to the Giants? Jackson Dart, he rushed for like 182 yards. Cam Scatterboo had, like, I could see that random ass graphic, and I'm watching Red Zone. And it's like, and oh man, what history being made! Cam Scatterboo and Jackson Dart both rushed for 150 yards. The first time since since a quarterback and running back have done that in the NFL. And stuff, as the Jaguars are just getting shellacked by the Giants. Abdul Carter records his first sack. It's like a great accomplishment.
Abdul Carter gets his first sack. Oh man! Listen. This is a team. This is a division that's really in flux, and the Texans can easily take it. The Colts, if they don't implode, and those were freak injuries that happened to the Colts.
Yeah.
But a lot of things happening there. But before we get out of here, let's also look at what Tankathon has for this division.
Yeah.
And so right now, Tankathon anticipates the Texans winning the division and having pick 21, where they will take Caden Green, offensive tackle, interior offensive line, Missouri. Then, lest we forget, the Colts don't control their first round pick. It is in the hands of the Jets, who, picking at pick 13, would take KJ Bolden, safety, Georgia. Then we've got.
Why does Tankathon do this? They know safeties don't go this high.
Well, listen, they
KJ Bolden is just like Caleb Downs. He should go higher, but he won't. So he's going at pick 25. What a steal by Jerry Jones.
They've got the Jaguars at pick 15. Taking Trevor Gooseby, offensive tackle, Texas. And then the Tennessee Titans at pick number 5, taking Colin Simmons, edge, Texas.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be like that.
Caleb Downs locking up CD Lamb, backpack strap.
Did you see that Mansour Delane thing that I sent?
No, yeah, dude, no, I laughed at it. Yeah, this guy loves to be. I still don't understand why they traded up for him, but okay.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Sure.
So Chase, I'll give the choice to you. Which region would you like to talk about next? Knowing that we're gonna save the West for last, simply because that's us.
Let's see what sounds more fun to talk about right now.
North or East?
Let's get the East out of the way. I feel like that's more fun. Like the North, I feel like the Norths, both Norths, like we always like talking about them and stuff. And
yeah.
It's a nice little appetizer before we talk about the 2 best conferences of football, the AFC West and the NFC West.
Yeah, the AFC West and the NFC West are and conveniently they both have 2 dumbasses. They have the Cardinals and the
Raiders. Yeah. Just like playing their little symbols. Like we're over, like our teams are all building like these like big ass Legos, and the Cardinals and the Raiders are with their Duplo blocks, and then they're still not reading the instructions correctly. They're just like, look what I built, Mom, and it's like, what the fuck is this? And it's like, oh, it's a tower, and it's like the worst looking tower you ever see. There's no infrastructure. You give them like an easy ass Lego set too to build. And they don't know how to build it.
Kubiak is so mad right now hearing
I think Clint Kubiak forgot he was the head coach. He woke up. He was like, "Oh shit, gotta be the head coach of the Cardinals? Sure, why not?" And then he's like, "Wait, what do I do here? Oh, I have Marvin Harrison Jr."
Before we get out of here, I do want to say, last year when we were talking about the Jaguars, they were 7.5 wins. That was the year then, and you said they can't do 7.5 wins. They need somewhere between 13 and 14 wins, which they got 13. Yeah. And then you said they need to do the most Trevor Lawrence thing that they all ever, which is to get 13 or 14 wins and then lose in the wild card round.
Yeah.
Do you remember what happened to the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Yeah, they let Josh Allen levitate into the end zone. Ex-CBS announcer Tony Romo said, the worst call I've ever heard an announcer say, 4th down for the Jaguars, chance for the Jaguars to tie up the game or take the lead or some shit like that. I can't remember what happened. But Tony Romo literally said, this is for the Super Bowl, Jim. And I was like, what? Huh? This is the wild card round. What the fuck are we talking about? This is for the Super Bowl? What, the other teams are just going to be like, oh, Bills and Jaguars, you won. Yeah,
Tony Romo said that this was the Super Bowl. So
yeah, I'm so confused when he said that. I was like, oh, dude, it was so fun when you guys beat them, and then Tony Romo was trying to find every excuse to just glaze Josh Allen. He was like, Jim, it wasn't his fault. How do you feel about that? No Romo. We're gonna have who's gonna be the main guy now? JJ Watt.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel? Do you like Nance and JJ Watt? Do you think that's going to be a good? JJ Watt's kind of boring.
Listen, it's not even that JJ Watt is boring compared to Tony Romo.
We need Bill Rivers, bro.
All right, calm down.
No, could you imagine Nance and Rivers? Oh, golly, you know what I'll call here is this, and like Rivers.
All right, that's funny. That's funny. But I guess where I'm going with this is I'll take anybody who is not just going to talk about how good Mahomes and Allen is all the time, even when they're not playing the game, even when it's not a Chiefs or Bills game, to talk about them. I'll take anybody who's going to do that.
I know Collinsworth gets shitted on for that, but he really doesn't glaze. He just glazes Mahomes. He just glazes Mahomes, but he doesn't do it just like Romo will randomly just talk about a quarterback throwing the ball, but that reminds me of Patrick Mahomes. It's like, okay, we get it. It reminds me of Patrick Mahomes. Let's stop. But yeah, no, I think JJ Watt, he no Eagle tried his best, but I don't know. I can't have monotone Jim Nance, and especially because Jim sounds like every time he goes, "Hello, friends," CBS, and he sounds like he's dying. It's like, oh no, Jim, it's Jober, bro. And then JJ Watt's and JJ Watt's not a good storyteller. He tries to tell a joke and it never lands and stuff. It's he he tells the joke, but then he says the funny part in the middle, and then he forgets the punchline. And then you're just like, JJ, where's the punchline? So, like, that's why we need Bill Rivers. Screw your children. You already said screw your children anyways. Like, you went to go play
That's true.
four games in the NFL. Can you just imagine? And it would help Rivers with the Hall of Fame votes, too, because everyone's going to be like, oh, man, Rivers is such a good guy on commentary, too. And it'll, like, help his Hall of Fame case a little bit.
They can do that. They can tell him that he's going to be in the Hall of Fame live on air or something like that.
Yeah. Golly, Jim, I mean, this is just one of those plays. Like, right now, I'll call Omaha Alert right there and just chuck it, man. Just chuck it. And he's just like talking.
and they're like, Phil, Keenan Allen is not and Mike is not down there somewhere. He's like, yeah, they are. Like, they're down there.
How dare you forget Chargers legend M80 Malcolm Floyd? That was his favorite. That was his favorite target.
What they need to do is have. I mean, granted, he was playing for them last year, but Rivers on at any team that has a good tight end, just so he could be like, listen, me and Antonio Gates did some amazing things.
Oh yeah, can they buy out Drew Brees' contract? Brees wasn't bad.
Brees wasn't terrible. No, he wasn't terrible.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Brees brings energy. I need energy next to Jim Nantz, not someone that's going to be like monotone like him.
Nah. But
let's go. Maybe we can get Brady away from Fox.
Be a lot of money, but this is
he used to be a CBS guy. Come on.
This is just for you, Chase. I'm putting this on the screen just for you.
Yeah, dude. Have you? We beat the best defense in the NFL.
I hit refresh on AFC West more, and I was like, all right, I got to show him.
Yeah, we best defense in the NFL. We scored 27 points on them. How about that? No, our offense really honestly, it was so John. You don't know how refreshing it was. I'm like, oh, so this is what a modern NFL offense looks like. What's this? Deep routes? I haven't seen this since.
Wait, hold on. This is good. This one's good too.
Yeah.
This one's good too. Hold on.
What is it? Oh yeah, dude. Exactly. Oh man, dude, we were boxing right there, bro. Yo, what anime is that? I want to watch that. There's some hands in this anime. I kind of like it.
And then look at this one. So it's saying this is you can get if you want to try out for playing wide receiver for the Chiefs, they just have you run this simulator.
Oh no. Rasheed Rice, what are you doing? No, Rasheed, break, Rasheed, break. Oh, Rasheed, no. This is also how you can be a player at the Georgia Bulldogs too.
Yeah.
Kirby Smart's like, what's your driving record? 3 DUIs. You're a dog. You're a bulldog.
Scholarship. Get this man a scholarship.
Dogs up.
But that's gonna do it. We want to thank you guys for tuning in. As always, true offseason. We enjoy doing this. We enjoy having these conversations all the time about football. We're going to be getting into true picks sooner rather than later. And don't forget, guys, both Chase and I had a really good record last year when it comes to picking games. So you never know what's going to happen. You want to tag along the journey. I think we're going to try to get in a futures props show down the road, but Chase picked the East, so we're going to be doing the AFC East and the NFC East very, very soon. We want to thank you guys.
Cowboys winning the East. Just put money on it now.
I actually am probably going to pick the Cowboys just because of
there we go.
That's the uncertainty with the Eagles. That it's ridiculous. That Dak.
And also Jerry got his fastball back.
What do you mean?
He just did good with the roster. He actually did a good job. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, oh, Jerry Jones woke up for once. He was like, oh, I should do something with my roster.
But Chase, let people know where they can find you, my good sir.
You can follow me on X at ChaseHoward68, Around the Point Network, and here on True Sports Entertainment, talking football with John. Very excited that the NFL's back. Cannot wait to watch the Chargers highlights against the Texans. Once again, We should do a true pick of the final preseason game. Be like, yeah, I think this backup.
The ridiculousness is that, like, I'm just amazed that they allowed people to bet on it. Like, that's part of like, I remember I told you, like, I took a bet. I was just like,
did that bet hit?
Like, it's hilarious.
Did that bet hit? It should have.
I'm looking right now. No, it did not.
Texans let you down, huh?
Yeah. The Texans needed 125 passing yards, and between Davis Mills and Graham Mertz, they got 98.
Oh yeah, Graham Mertz did not look. They should have kept Mills in much longer. Mills actually looked really good, like for the time that he played.
Can you imagine how strong of a strong character, personality, just honor Davis Mills is? You were the starter, and then this team went and goes and gets CJ Stroud, and they're like, "We're gonna make you the backup," and you're like, "All right," like. He's not complained in nothing. Like, he's just been like, cool. This is the deal.
Do you think Kellen Moore would have kept Davis Mills as his quarterback, like he did with Shuck?
Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe. I think so too.
Honestly, like, especially last year, because they got injured in the game. Before he got injured, CJ Stroud put up the numbers that he put up against Denver versus what Davis Mills did against Denver. Davis Mills actually was playing better than CJ Stroud was against arguably top 3 defense.
Didn't he go 3-0 as a starter last year with Davis Mills?
You know, I think possibly
as a starter, not
I know
like we're leaving.
Reference. Let's see.
Yeah, I think Davis Mills went 3-0 last year as a starter.
3-0 as a starter. Yeah.
Do you see Davis Mills as a potential, like, a team doesn't want to pay their quarter? Like, let's say Tampa Bay, they're like, we don't want to pay Baker. But Davis Mills. Yeah.
He's 27 years old. Like, he's not old at all. And hold on.
And he has starting experience.
Like, he has started right now. He has started 27 games. Not the best record in them, right? Like 8-19-1. But like, that's, you could argue he didn't really have much going for him for the 2021 Houston Texans and the 2022 Houston Texans. Who did they really have?
Yeah.
Almost nobody.
He looked good for the little bit of action because he was zipping the ball very nicely. So
yeah, so he has right now.
We got to do our backup quarterback tier list. I think Davis Mills might be one.
That's why I want to get through our preview of the regions. But yeah, he signed a 1-year extension with Houston. So after this season, where he will be turning 28, he will be a unrestricted free agent. Like, let me put it this way. Mm-hmm. Could you see a world where Tampa Bay lets Baker walk, or Atlanta goes, Penix ain't it, and Tua ain't it, and they give like a 2-year contract, 2 years, say 22 mil.
Yeah,
Davis Mills.
Yeah, Stefanski's offense is kind of like a Davis Mills type of offense too.
Why not?
Yeah.
And then if you think about it, like, that allows. Now, granted, he is signing with the knowledge that you are drafting a quarterback, and then in 28, like, you've got potentially Bryce Underwood coming out. I can never pronounce this dude's name. The quarterback for California, Saga Politelli.
Oh, JKS.
JKS. There's
I don't say his name.
There's gonna be like 1 or 2 of these quarterbacks who potentially stays in school.
I don't think JKS is gonna stay in California. I think this is his last year. A team's gonna give him a big bag to transfer.
But like
Miami.
But like, that's a situation where it's like, okay, yeah, we get Davis Mills to be like that bridge quarterback, the guy who's just gonna be there and hold the fort down. And also, he has experience working with a rookie quarterback because he did it with CJ Stroud. Like, I could easily see that. Easily.
Yeah.
We'll see. But you guys can always catch me here
John,
on.
You forget, when I appear, I have to give a promotion ad. You can't just leave the show without me giving a promo ad.
I'm letting the people know where they can find me, which is right here on this all the time.
Better hurry up then, man.
Between the true offseason, clocking in on the pit, Chase and I were getting ready to finish up the pit season 2. We're going to tape the finale, our review of the finale very soon, and then we will be. I don't know. We may, either we're going to maybe find something new to do because but I mean, football is going to take up a huge amount of time.
Yeah.
So maybe not. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But a lot of things happen. A lot of things happen. I want to thank you guys as always for tuning in, and take it away, Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, man. If you guys want to feel fresh on and off the field, you guys got to go to Adidas.com today.
One second.
Yeah.
Now it really creates the ambiance. Go for it.
Where's my picture, man? You guys got to get a picture of me and just put it up here, man. Whatever. But yeah, Adidas.com gets you fit and right anywhere. Whether you want the newest styles in shoes, the newest styles in nice fleece wear. By the way, it's going to start getting cold, guys. You guys got to get your jackets, your tracksuits now. By the way, no one ever thanked me. No one said, wow, Patrick, what a great guy you are. Gave people 25 high schools new Mahomes Adidas jerseys for their high schools, man. That's what I do, man. So if you guys want to look fresh and fit like me, and if you guys want to train like me, get the Mahomes FLX shoe, get the Mahomes everything on Adidas.com.
That made me throw up a little bit in my mouth.
I'm the best Adidas athlete. Screw Anthony Edwards.
But thank you guys for tuning in as always.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I love you.
Take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll catch you all later.
Yeah, man.